back. The time is now.
Hey. Oh, I've got no idea what's happened there.
I'll get sick of hiding behind that. Anyway, good evening. Welcome, everybody, to NUFC Talk TV with myself, the Geordie Yam Yam. We've got the mighty Win and we've got the mighty Bulky with us as well. Gentlemen, it's coming to that time of the week where we look at the team a weekend. And obviously, we've got Fulham. Took us to the sword last season. Potentially a different game, I hope, this season. But before we get into tonight's show, obviously we've got the extended shows now. We go on for 3 hours. So we're going to look at the game on Saturday. And then Chris is going to literally jump on board and hit some news that's been floating around. And there's been one or two little bits of gossip, I must say, that's hit the news today. Slot being one of them. That was quite a funny one. Everybody jumping on the bandwagon with Slot's comments. But I mean, I'm sure Chris and the boys will get into that later on. So let's do the housework and then we'll crack on with the show. Welcome to all watching across the platforms. Thanks to everybody that works in the background. Do an amazing job. Don't forget, people out there in viewerland, please smash that like button for us. It certainly helps us get further as a channel. Subscribe. It's totally free. Hit that bell button for future content. Like I say, you'll get the half-an-hour warning to say that we're jumping on board. Morning, noon and night, there's usually a show coming your way. Totally unedited. It is always live with us lot. Hence, we have so many mistakes and always get corrected in the chat. If you want to support us, you can become a member. There's only one level now to choose from. So if you can afford so, that will be great.
Choose that one.
Exactly. Do that one. If you've got a question for either of us in the chat, in the panel, then throw a Q in front of that question. It ain't always guaranteed, but we'll do our best to notice it. But again, apologies if we don't mention everything that's there. So if you want to guarantee it, then use the $sign, throw us a Talk TV super chat, and that'll guarantee that message read out. Anybody that becomes a member during the show, or any of our lovely members out there that gift them, will also be highlighted and thanked as we go through the show. And don't forget, if you still want to, there's still time to jump on board. £5 entry fee for the Prediction League. Quite a few games have gone now. It's about predicting all of the Newcastle games as we go through the season. Top 6 get a prize. So entirely up to yourselves. It's just a bit of fun. See where we go. So, gentlemen, excited about the weekend against Fulham, are we all just tender hooks of how's it going to go again against Fulham? Because, like I say, last season, home and away, we were unstuck.
Yeah, I think inevitably we're all wondering what's going to happen in the Premier League after we've had reasonable to good midweek performances. And sooner or later, Eddie's got to find a way to start turning those results around. We're in the situation we're in, without Tino and Hall and, Wisser, obviously. But that's where we are. So has he got to be, I don't know, maybe even be more pragmatic and go for points as opposed to no points, which is definitely not his way. But with what we've got now, I still think that we should just about have enough for Fulham. I say Borky's going 5-1. I don't know where he's getting that from. But perhaps he can tell us. I mean, he said where he thinks they're going to get whose fault it's going to be for the one.
Yeah, exactly.
But what suddenly gives you this ultra confidence, Borky? I'm impressed.
I think Benfica could be a springboard and we'll now go on and absolutely smash Fulham and go on a bit of a run.
Right.
So,
You see that's the way I would normally feel.
yeah, I think we know the defensive frailty, but in regards to the rest of the team, I think they've showed promise. So I think we start to go for it now. I can see, goals from wingers now are starting. What came on at the Benfica game, we looked like a better unit going forward. You've got Tonali to come back into that team. And personally, I would keep J7 out, and I think I would play Ramsey in the number 8 position. But I think we need to be positive, and we need to think that Benfica was the start, and now we're on a springboard, and we're going to absolutely smash Fulham and go on a little bit of a run.
Is that because maybe you're considering that Benfica are a step up from USG?
No, it's because I'm a positive fan and I want we to win.
Biddly. I wish I had Chrissy's sound box.
But we didn't get that same optimism after the USG game. After the USG game, you were definitely, well, now let's go and do it in
Yeah, and now the reason I'm saying this is because if we don't do it, I'll be the first one on to be saying Eddie's failing in the Premier League. So I'll give him all the chances. I'll give him all the chances for this weekend. I want we to win. I want we to win well. I want we to go out and absolutely smash Fulham. I want we to go on a run. If we don't, then serious questions have to be asked about Eddie.
Hey, I hope everybody's clipping this.
I was going to say, I
hope everybody's clipping this.
But
Good to hear. I still think we'll win. Apart from anything else, they've got a few injuries themselves.
7, haven't they?
Very interesting, talking about rotation and weaker teams and so on and so forth. Interesting tonight that Villa playing the mighty go-ahead Eagles from the Eredivisie in Holland in the Europa League, as it is now, came unstuck. They got beat 2-1. And Emery went with a much weakened team and came unstuck. I mean, when I say much, he rested half the team. Rogers and Cash and I forget, I can't remember them all, but certainly 5 regular first teamers, good players. Again, because when I watched a bit of it and when I went, who's that? And actually they went in the lead. They were winning 1-0, but then they just seemed to fall apart. And this is where squad depth comes in. It's all very well rotating, but if what you're bringing off the bench is levels below who they're replacing, then that's what you get. And I think this is why in the past Eddie's been very reluctant to rotate, because what we've had on the bench is so inferior to what's in a very, very good first 11.
I mean, that is that seems contradictory. To think that we have improved the bench somewhat, where we had a game against Benfica using 2 of the bench players, if you like, to come on board. Didn't unhinge us. And obviously we've got a player in the midfield there, what a youngster, who we know what he can provide, but hasn't had much game time. So he's a bit rusty. You've also got a lad who's just come back from injury and obviously hasn't had that much of a run out with us. So a little bit rabbit in headlights. So I look at, the biggest thing for me with Newcastle at the moment is rotation in certain areas, there is a hell of a lack of confidence and quality in certain areas. Thank you, Michael. Go on then, mate.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Liverpool, for taking Isaac. Toon.
Absolutely. They're still sending everybody the fraud thumbnail, which makes me laugh. I mean, Slot now is saying that we're a smaller club now because obviously we didn't train him very well. But anyway, you know, for me, I look at the certain positions within the Newcastle side, dependent on mentality, who comes on, will give you a different perspective of the game. So we've seen the good and bad at Harvey Barnes, if I'm honest with you, already this season, where he could have nailed down that left wing when Anthony Gordon wasn't present. Anthony Gordon, again, another one who's been failing to hit the high notes. But again, you know, we've seen a different player in England and obviously against Champions League. Can we see, and somebody's put down there, Newcastle consistently inconsistent. And I think if I was going to put a headline above my head, I think that would be the headline, if I'm absolutely honest with you. I think the biggest problem for me, it's not about not having a little bit of quality in depth now. I agree in certain areas, else we wouldn't have, as Bowkey keeps on telling us, Dan Burn at left back, because we just haven't got the quality there. You know, I was one saying, you know, it's about time Trippier left and moved on. But again, he seems one of the fittest players in the club at the moment, going into the 90th minute, still willing to run down that wing. I can't fault the lad's commitment and cause for the club. Have we got the replacements in certain areas? No, we haven't. But there is no excuse in the reasons for us to have lost the games that we've lost already this season, apart from not hitting the onion sack. Because we've just been inconsistent. We've done everything in midfield, we've done everything in defence, kept it really tight, but just failed where it counts to win the game. And I think, you know, took a bit of a plunge an hour before we came on air, just to have a look at Voltemada and how he changes the work rate of Newcastle and how we set up differently from the way Isaac used to play. Now, obviously, if you look at season 24-25, Isaac used to come down to left of centre. So if you think of where J7 would play, that's where Isaac would always, if he was dropping out of that centre slot, if you have a look at Isaac's heat map over the season, he drops out the centre and he comes down and he sits just left of centre if you're looking at your attacking goal. Very similar to where J7 positions himself. And that's where he used to hang around. So when we were in a defensive third, he would always use that area as his pocket of space to run in behind. Voltemada is a little bit different because what Voltemada actually gives you is an extra midfielder. And if you look at a lot of our heat maps this year, especially our passing lanes, you've had both Anthony Gordon and Elanga on the right-hand side as our forward most players for the entire season. Again, you know, it's balancing that connection between Voltemada and the midfield. So again, you gain that extra body. Has he got the work rate to get from that midfield then up into the box? Well, we've seen it. He's not the quickest, but what he has got is he's got a technical brain where he's using one-touch football to get it to a player, move. As soon as he's hit the ball, he's moving. He's going into the direction that he wants, and that's normally in towards the penalty spot. So I think he has given us such a different dynamic at Newcastle. And I think it has taken a couple of games for the boys to understand him. But again, you saw that goal that was given to Harvey Barnes. It was a gift of a one-touch when he laid it off to Anthony Gordon to running off the diagonal. And then it's just a real clever ball through to Harvey Barnes to slot through the keeper's legs. So, you know, for me, it's about, are we now starting to see the cream of what Voltemada gives you, which is a totally different aesthetic compared to what Isak gave us, because he was very much, the greedy one that sat in the box and didn't want to move. Andrew Barwick, thank you, matey. We need to cut out late goals. Cost us 5 points. Yeah. I think that is for me. You think where we've been punished, and you look at a couple of games that we've lost: the Brighton game, Arsenal, Liverpool. The three real bad games that we've actually been punished with, and it's just lack of concentration towards the end. It's just they've given all. I mean, I couldn't understand it against Liverpool because it was 10 men for 45 minutes, and they were on the ascendancy. And the only real team that's beaten us, I suppose, I want to say beaten us without any issues was Barcelona, but even they struggled to beat us. Even though
we could have been out of Barcelona, we could
if we'd have took our chances. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got a text message earlier on saying, you were absolutely outplayed by Barcelona, and when you sit back and I had to, I mean, literally, I had to think, and I'm saying, hold on, we were in the ascendancy virtually until I mean, like you said, if we'd have taken our chances, we would have been out of sight at a time. But that's the problem, I think, with Newcastle at the moment. It's having players.
I remember, but in the aftermath of that game, I remember commentating and saying that we seemed to sit back. That Barcelona had been sitting back, allowing us to go on to them, and in the second half they said, "Right, we're going to have a go now." And second half, I agree. Second half, they were different gravy, but first half.
What would have, could have, should have is a different game to play. I think what we need to do is look at where we actually are at. And we've got a tendency to look back on games and say, if this had happened, if that had happened, realistically, we are where we deserve to be. And I think the one good thing about the Benfica match was that Eddie slightly changed the tactics. I think Gordon, he played him a lot in a more wide position, not too far much further wide, but he was on the wing a lot more.
I just think it was the way Gordon played that he decided to go outside instead of coming inside all the time. Now, if that's instructions, fantastic. He should have been doing it.
Well, players work off instructions. He's not just going to do that himself automatically. He's been put in a mindset that week of how they want him to play. So I think Eddie has changed things, and if he does that against Fulham, I think we'll destroy them. I think that's the big thing to say, and that's why I'm saying this. What I don't want is Eddie,
especially with their main man is injured, Anthony.
What I don't want is Eddie to go into it again and sort of just go. It always feels like there's a little bit of a leash on everybody. It's sort of that he never just. And I think the one time he had, the one few times he has
loose the hounds.
release the hounds, but I think the few times he has done it, so like the cup final, when he has just said to the players, "Go out and express yourselves," they've done really well. I think at times he's a good coach in regards to managing games, but I think sometimes he manages the players too much, and he doesn't just say to them, if you get a chance, go for it. And I think a big thing with that is shooting from outside the box, which again we did against Benfica.
Exactly.
And that has to be the coaching style that he goes with.
Yeah, I've been saying for donkey's years now, why do we not shoot more from outside the box? And we've started doing it, and we've started getting results.
Am I right in saying that we've won the last 4 out of 6?
All games.
Yeah. No,
well,
we've won 4 out of 6.
We've won the last 3.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4, and then we lost Brighton before that. No, that we didn't, did we? Let's go back.
I'm trying to think exactly. I've just been having a quick look, and I'm like,
it was,
that's wrong. What people have put up here.
Forest. No, it wasn't Forest on Sunderland. It was. God, that me.
Oh my days! Let's go back.
It was let's have
Honestly, proper fans.
We lost. Oh, wait there. We lost 3-1 to Brighton. 2-1 to Brighton on the 8th. Sorry, on the
2-1
18th.
on the 18th.
We
beat Forest 2-0.
3-0. We beat Nottingham Forest 2-0. We beat Union A 4-0.
We beat USG Forest, lost to Brighton, beat Benfica.
And we beat Arsenal. Sorry, Arsenal beat us, and then we won against Bradford.
That's right. It was Bradford before that, wasn't it? So that's right. So, I mean, like I said, I was just looking at some stuff that people put down is ridiculous.
3, 4.
So somebody had put down that we'd won 4 out of 6, and I'm trying to rack my brains. 4 out of 6? How do you get 4 out of 6? Because I can't remember. You know what I mean?
No,
From the 6 games.
4 out of 7.
It's 4 out of 7, isn't it? Not 4 out of 6.
It is. No, because Arsenal and Brighton both beat us.
Yeah.
So it's and well, that's if you the Bradford City game, yeah.
No, we've won 4 out of 6. They're right.
Yeah, Bradford, USG, Forest, and Benfica. But there's only Forest in the Prem there. The 2 out of 6 that were lost were in the Prem.
In the Prem, yeah. Where I mean, I could understand that. I've just been looking at that, and you got something stuck in your head, and I'm thinking 4 out of 6. That don't sound right.
Don't sound right.
So why are we so negative? For God's sake! No, I'm only joking.
But that shows you why stats can be used in any way. Because I could quite easily turn around and say we've lost, we've won in 5 and 15.
Yeah.
So sometimes when we're talking stats,
but when you're looking at 4 out of 6 games, you've won 4 out of 6 games. It puts you on that different mindset, doesn't it? And I'm thinking, hold on, why are we worried here? Because we've won 4 out of 6. And I thought it was 4 out of 7. I really did. I thought it was 4 out of 7. That's why I was questioning it, because, like I say, some of the stuff that people put in, you have to do your homework to be really sure. I'm just going to do that. Just a question, please, if you could smash that like button. I've just been informed on there to make sure that I've done it, and I have. So, listen, Silver's been on there. I've just read the standard before I come on the line, and obviously he's absolutely decimated with injury. I think he's got 7 injuries now. Apparently, another injury blow was Harry Wilson, who was a doubt for the trip to Newcastle. Carrying a knock since the international break, apparently played 82 minutes during last weekend's 1-0 defeat over Arsenal, but has not trained at all over the last 2 days, according to what Silver was saying. So that's another one added to his list, and he said, he's going to be doubtful. So he's got a complete reshuffle at the back, because I believe Anderson's out. Have you got the list of players missing there?
Yeah. Well, the big one for me is Anthony Robinson, because he's not just one of the best defenders, but he's also brilliant in their attacks. So, he hasn't even got no return dates for Anderson. Definitely out. Thigh injury. Yeah. Robinson's out. Kenny's out.
It's also a difficult.
It's 50%. Chukwueze is out.
Yeah. And Muniz, isn't he?
Lukic, groin hip, and Muniz.
Yeah. I think that is there's some big names for them.
So I mean, they are. We are complaining about Orange. So we can't use, even I can't use injuries as an excuse against Fulham, because it's not like Fulham have got a £1 billion bench to call upon.
We will thrash Fulham, but I think if we don't, if with that amount of injuries, if we have any issues beating them, or if we don't beat them especially, there's got to be serious questions asked of how at that point, Premier League form-wise.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. Serious questions. And we know what my answer will be to all those questions.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, you might have to change it to 9 points by Christmas away from Champions League win.
No.
Yeah. So who do you think is going to be in for Anderson? I think it was it Diop who came on when Anderson come off against Arsenal. I believe it was because they obviously haven't been playing Smith Rowe because he hasn't really been turning up for them. Traore, we know he's a speed merchant, so I think it'll be Harry Wilson won't play. I think it'll be Traore will come on down that right hand side with Iwobi on the other side. So they'll be looking for pace, and it'll be Jimenez up front.
And
so
he's even doubtful.
Well, I'm going to say even he apparently has had some struggles. So it's going to be a really interesting one. So I'm going to put what my thoughts of the team is. And obviously, I know you guys are probably going to come at me and change the side altogether, which is absolutely fine. Let's see what you guys think of this then. Throw it up there and we'll transition it. So this is who I believe will be both Newcastle and Fulham. I think it'll be Cuenca, Diop, Sessegnon and Castagna as their back four with Leno in goal. I think it'll be... Kearney, did you say he was out?
Well, the predicted lineup that I've got here is Leno in goal, back three of Sessegnon, Bassi and Diop, a midfield four of Castagna, Lukic, Berger and Iwobi.
Okay.
We've got a pace there.
Yeah.
Then King and Kevin in the 8 and 10, and Jimenez up front.
Okay. So I've gone with this 4-3-3 because I like I say, as you just said that, I realised that Kearney's still in my side, and I think he's very much a doubt. So you think King and Kevin will be in there then?
According to
Iwobi, yeah. And you said Traore won't start because he's doubtful.
Doubtful, yeah.
And who do you say would come in?
Castagna.
Just a quick one. Is that Sessegnon that used to play for, was it Tottenham?
It's a few Sessegnon.
Oh, I've got Castagna there.
Yeah, you've got him at left back as opposed to mid. Yeah, so you've got him playing left.
I've gone with a four at the back, you
four,
see, with Sessegnon.
As opposed to they've got him with a midfield four on the left of a midfield four here.
Right, okay. So you reckon they'll play more or less a three with Berger, Castagna.
3-4-2-1.
Yeah. And who's on the right hand side, did you say?
Iwobi.
Castagna on the left with King and Berg, Kevin up in the slot.
Lukic and Berg in the centre.
Yeah.
In tandem.
Yeah.
And then in front of them, King and Kevin. King on the left, Kevin on the right.
Yeah.
And Jimenez
up top. Crikey, that's okay. So let's take Sessegnon out. And who was the other?
No, Sessegnon's in.
Oh, he's in.
Sessegnon, they've got him on the left here.
Okay, so that's who's that prediction up with?
This is with the Fantasy Football Hub.
Right. Okay.
And
that's
they've
interesting.
got ours pretty much bang on. So, and I've
well, I don't think, like I say, you could pick ours in your sleep, couldn't you? So they've got where are they playing Sessegnon then?
The left of the back three, they've got him.
Sessegnon as a back three.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. That's an interesting one. I wouldn't have done that, but anyway, let's see because that'll be an interesting one. I hope it is. Trust me. I think he's much better out on that right hand side.
Sessegnon's very much a J7, isn't he? He puts his cell about.
He does, but he's not. I wouldn't class him as a centre back per se. But anyway, it'll be an interesting one. So with us, do you think we'll be literally unchanged apart from maybe J7 and Tonali coming back into the side? Because I've got them straight back into the side.
Well, I'm kind of hoping Tonali obviously comes back if he's, remotely fit. He's had his rest. He was on the bench, so he wouldn't be on the bench if he was really crocked. So I've got Tonali definitely coming back. J7 at home, afternoon, no lights. I think because Miley did as well, and Ramsey, in fact, even though I didn't think Ramsey played particularly well.
You think Ramsey holds his space?
Because that's who. The reason I'm saying Ramsey is because that was who Bogey felt would come in for J7.
So that's who you guys think.
So
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't be averse to that.
No, not. Well, I wouldn't.
And Murphy keeps his place on the right, I think. Cements his place on the bench.
Do you not think if Eddie's progressing, he makes a few more changes? So I don't think there's any problem with dropping Churchill and playing Shaw, and dropping Dan Burn and playing Kraft, and maybe he's playing Alanga instead of Murphy.
I just think that then gives
just to sort of
all the excuses in the world for saying we made far too many changes.
But it freshens the team up, and plus it does what we've all said. The problem is sometimes we call Eddie for things after games, and I think if we go with that team, a lot of people are going to say he hasn't really freshened it up. I think if you change things up a little bit and freshen things up a little bit,
I just think the 3 points are too important to go experimenting.
But it's not experimenting. I mean, Shaw's not an experiment. There's none of them players would be experiments. As we've said throughout, the bench is better. So I don't think we're experimenting with them players. The amount of players Fulham have got out, I think playing that team, even a team like that with Shaw in, with
because of that very situation, because the amount of players that Fulham have got out, my attitude is, let's go take advantage of that, and let's get your 5-1 by playing our strongest.
But if this is the best squad we've ever had, we need to be able to do things like that to freshen the team up for games.
Yeah.
And as I say, the reason I'm saying this isn't that I particularly think that that's a stronger team, but we have been critical of Eddie for not freshening the team up after games. And if he does go with that team, we're happy with it. Then we can't then come out after the game and say Eddie didn't freshen the team up. So what I'm saying is I would slightly freshen the team up more.
The point is, I don't want to be in a situation at 5 o'clock on Saturday where all the bedwetters are saying, well, we cannot complain because you did what we asked. And we've come out from another Premier League game without the 3 points. And by the way, a chance to give our goal difference a bit of a boost as well. What I certainly wouldn't be averse to doing is going out all guns blazing with our strongest squad, which for me is just about that lineup there, with what we've got available at the minute. Go with that, and then let's get 2 or 3 up and make changes early, and then let's see them see those changes you want to see made. By then it'll be against a team who's got to come out, who can't low block, and let's put some more goals away.
But that's the problem we've got, is that we're all arguing different points at the same time. So
isn't football wonderful?
It is, but we'll have to say with this game, it is a must win. But we should be able to do that with rotating a little bit of the squad. And you can't just. The problem is, I think at the minute, we're all thinking that Eddie needs wins, but you
And
can't
he
pick
does need wins.
but you
I'm going to
can't
say
pick
in the Premier League he needs
He
wins
does, he
because
desperately needs
it's
wins,
it's it's not looking good in the Premier League compared to everywhere else.
but you can't. But you don't then want Eddie just picking the team around the fact that he's in trouble. You want him to do what's best for the club, and in the long term with players, the best thing is to rotate. And that's that. And if we don't do that, you're just going to knacker these players out.
I mean, so what you're saying is Trippier out. Let's have a look at it.
No,
So
I'm not. I think keep the backbone. So I think Shaw could quite easily come in for Chow. I don't think there's much of a difference there in level. I'm seeing
what
Kraft
between Chow and Shaw?
between Chow and Shaw,
Okay,
and I'm
let's have a
seeing
look at what you are then.
bring Kraft in at left back, and Kraft's going to have exactly the same issues that Dan Burn has. So I mean, Kraft is more of a full back type of player, but I think that, and I think one of the wingers,
And
maybe,
more of a right back, by the way.
yeah. But I think one of the wingers as well. So maybe take Murphy out and bring Elanga in, and it's just freshening the squad up a little bit. And then if things are going wrong, you've got players on the bench that can change things still. But it's sort of it's not. We're just going with what we've always done, which is not rotate. And Eddie has his core of players that he very much sticks to, but he has started this season rotating, and I don't think we should discourage him from doing that.
Yeah, no.
I think he's doing the right thing, and I don't think he shouldn't do that because he's in a bit of trouble because of the way results have went.
But again,
Yeah,
he has started rotating because we've now got a bench where that rotation isn't to the detriment of the team as much as it used to be. But we've kind of run out of those rotation options with the injuries that we've got. You could already call that 11 that we originally started with the rotation option, which was Byrne is in for Hall, who would be there normally, and Trippier is in there for Livramento, who would normally be there. So that element of rotation is there. We're now going on to our third choices.
But we're not. We're playing a £55 million winger. We're playing a 40. We're playing a 40.
Let's concentrate. Let's concentrate on the back first of all, and then we'll move up top.
We're playing a £45 million midfielder, and I don't think the two lads that I'm bringing in at the back have ever really let Wood. I mean, Shaw did when he was under Bruce, but since Eddie's been there, Shaw's never let Wood down, and I don't think Chow would have got in the team if Shaw hadn't been injured out for a while. And I don't think at left back between Kraft and Byrne there's much between them.
Well, again, I would obviously beg to differ there, but I just think it's an unnecessary risk. What do you reckon, Barry?
Well, like I said, if you look at Eddie Howe past wise, one, he doesn't like to he doesn't like to make changes at the defence. He certainly won't, as we've all quite rightly said, how different it is at the minute regarding getting results in the Premier League. 2 in 8 isn't great. When you look at, if you're looking at stats only. So 2 in 8 games, 2 wins out of 8, puts us in 14th position, with Fulham 15th. Now, when you look at squad, you put the squad on paper. They have got some players that can cause an upset. You look at Pace, he will be, whether he plays right or left. I mean, I've been having a quick look at where he played the weekend gone, and Iwobi seems to have been more of a centre mid, playing in that 10 role, coming in off the wing, trying to create problems, overload in certain areas. And I mean, the way you've set it up here, according to what they are, these guys are going to go with a box midfield, with Castagna and Iwobi on the wing. Now playing three at the back with Gordon and Elanga. I mean, like I said, it would splinter their midfield completely if we kept both Gordon and Elanga on the field, because with pace, does Sessegnon move on? Does Diop move across? So who out of Lukic and Berg drops into the hole, because that's what you're going to need. I have a feeling that these guys are going to be a low block looking for us to come on, and then releasing the likes of Iwobi over the top to try and get involved. And, for me, throwing Kraft in at left back is a gamble. Not seen too much of him play there. You're absolutely right. He hasn't really let us down, but he hasn't let us down in his natural position at right back. And, for me, making two changes in defence is where I think would be my question mark. Why am I changing a relationship that's being built up? And again, if you look back, we aren't being hammered by opposition. We're losing by the single goal here and there. So for me, there is relationships being built. Why change that? Why make a risk? Even though it's against Fulham that are hampered with injuries, I think the points have got to be more important this week. And, as Winner said, I mean, you're both right in some degree, I suppose, if you're looking at it. You have got a squad to rotate, but why not try and get the result first before you bring them off and rotate them? So I can understand it. I just don't think Eddie's that type of coach to take the risk. He doesn't take risks with kids. And that was a really interesting read, wasn't it? I don't know whether you guys had seen that. This Champions League week, this week I think it was, the amount of under 21s that were available for squads. Chelsea had 3, I think, playing under 20s.
Yeah, well, you're going to say that in Champions League, of course, because under
not
21s.
With Newcastle, you won't.
Yeah, but under 21s don't count. You don't have to include those in the numbers. I know. Champions League squad.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, even though you haven't got to include them, you don't ever see them with Eddie Howe's teams, because it's not his tried and tested. He's very much a tried and tested guy.
I agree.
When it comes to coaching. And I think, like I say, I can see the changes going forward. I can see Elanga starting. I can see potentially Ramsey starting. But if I was Miley, after the couple of games that he's had, especially having the big pat on the back from the gaffer, saying how well he played, keeping Tonali out the side to a degree, even though I think Tonali wouldn't have played anyway with his bug. You have to question, would you be upset if you were Miley and you were dropped?
But I think you have to stop thinking it as being dropped as such now. You have to think that we're in 4 competitions. So there's going to be times when you're going to have to change players.
All I can say to you, Gary, is you've never been a professional footballer. If you're not getting picked on that Saturday list, you've been dropped.
But but I'm saying you've got to look at it slightly differently. The big clubs, you see players being...
Yeah, except that Gary was saying, how's Miley going to feel?
Well, all players will be disappointed if they're not playing.
Well, that's what I saw with J7, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
However, what you have to see is it's a squad game now. We've all said this is the best. Well, we've all said this is the best squad we've ever had. I said that as well. And in regards to this, what you need to do, if you've got the best squad we've ever had, is use it. So you need to start.
Let's have a look. There's a lot of good comments coming in here. I've got NUFC Truth, Gary, but in the Prem, it's 2 out of 8.
Yeah, because we were talking
it's
about
the league
4
form
out of 6,
that fans are not happy with.
Yeah, you're absolutely bang on.
So yeah, spot on, NUFC Truth, because that's exactly it. And he goes on, can 2 be the same? Because I put Champions League games away from the league form, because we seem to love the Champions League and look really bad in the Prem. And then Cuff saying, God, if we can't turn these over at home, I might have to go over to the dark side. And I think a lot of people will be maybe thinking that. Chris, our Champions League form is showing we are talented players, where talented players are more up for us than in the league right now. They're all performing better in the Champions League, in other words, than they are in the league. Steve Walton is saying Howe doesn't like changing the defence. And Gary is saying, Borky, I think Gary might be coming tomorrow afternoon, Borky. Borky, you want to rotate just because you can. That's not a good reason. But is that a fair comment? Just because you can.
Well, no, to be fair, what all said last season, Eddie, the squad needs to be rotated more, and Eddie needs to get in that. And I'm standing up for the bloke saying we need to start rotating, and we can't call him out if he does rotate and things go wrong because of that.
Yeah, but you're risking the things going wrong when maybe you don't need to, was the way I would argue at that point. Cuff is asking, I know we've tried Barnes on the right before and it hasn't worked, but with Walter Marder's much better link-up play than Isaac, do you think it could work? A front three of Gordon, Walter Marder and Barnes, and I think that could work, and I think there's more chance, actually, of Barnes, if he's going to drop Murphy, and I think that's a big if he's going to drop Murphy, I think there's more chance of Barnes coming in on the right, as he did on Wednesday, than Elanga being given yet another opportunity.
I mean, if you look at it, the way Barnes finished the game, you got to question whether he should start the game, because he's going to be he's going to be absolutely on fire. But it's like I said, you don't really. Eddie Howe doesn't. I'm going to say this with a bit of tongue in cheek, because I've just said he's already said to Miley, "How can you drop a player?" This was his words to the press. How can you drop a player who's played so well? He deserves a space. So when you look at this now, somebody's going to be upset after the Benfica game, surely, because
Indeed.
if he rotates this team now, coming away from that really good performance, yeah, it could have been a bit different if they'd have took their couple of chances. But it was a cracking second half, completely dominated the Benfica team. So surely you've got to question whether the team that finished that game should start this game, to keep that continuity, to keep that mental drive, that positivity. They're all learning the game. They're all showing signs of, we saw the Harvey Barnes, goal where he just run late. Popey threw it to him, 63 yards. Never seen that at Newcastle before. It's like there's a breath of fresh air all of a sudden.
That was on the right,
driving through, and that was on the right hand side. I mean, usually Barnes, he's gone for a cup of tea on the right hand side and a couple of biscuits by the time he's got that ball, because he doesn't show the same as Anthony Gordon doesn't show on the right hand side. And again, we were saying, when Elanga was coming on, why change and put Elanga on the right hand side? Why not just say to Anthony Gordon comes off, go and throw Elanga on the left hand side, go and have a look at him, because to me, it's an opportunity to keep naturally, footers, one on the right hand side with Harvey Barnes. Again, you saw him use his right foot across the keeper and get a goal. The same with Elanga. Utilise your pace, where everybody keeps on saying to me, well, he's naturally right-footed. Well, I haven't seen it on the right-hand side, so why not utilise it as an inside winger rather than a winger on the right-hand side? Because he's not done a thing for Newcastle on this right wing. So I would have, if I was going to do change it a little bit, that's exactly what I would have done in the last 15 minutes against Benfica.
Gary, would you look to change shape a little? And I know Eddie won't do this, and to be fair, we all know what a team Eddie's going to go.
Well, he has.
But do you think he'll change shape a lot? Do you think he'll go against these three in midfield and maybe push a player more forward?
But again, as I was alluded to before, if you look over the last three games, and it was more noticeable. I saw it at Forest, and I was thinking, "Oh, is this a one-off?" And then, like I say, the Benfica game comes to mind, and Brighton. There was a couple of times, and it's just as simple as bringing Voltemada into this pocket here, because what you get then is these two Well, it's not Miley usually. It could be, it's usually Tonali. And what happens then is as these move, say, I'm using Miley here because this is who I'd like to bring into the side. As you bring him into this pocket of space with Voltemada, you have players then that are able to try and break lines in and around. So when Voltemada drops into this space, you've actually got a box 4-man midfield. And that's what's changed because he doesn't hold on to the ball very often. It's always one, sometimes two touch, but it's very rarely, unless he needs to, hold on to the ball and turn, where it becomes a total different. And I think he will make he brings a totally different side to our game. So with just introducing Voltemada into the system, you have changed the system. And I know, like I said, it's going to take a while for it to get used to it. And the lads, again, against weaker opposition, against Benfica, actually tore the Benfica defence a new one. Can we do that more often in the Premier League? And I think that is the question that is on everybody's minds at the minute. We just don't see the same players.
I was thinking actually that...
you think Isak used to hold the ball up? Because from what I remember, when we were winning a game, if we wanted the ball held up, we would bring Wilson on to try to fulfill that role. So what we lost with Isak that we haven't got with Voltemada? Because I don't think either of them are particularly ball holders up. Does that make sense?
Balls holder up.
I think Voldemort is not necessarily a ball holder up because he's so quick that it's like the Gordon Strachan one, isn't it? Bounce back ability.
Yeah, exactly.
The ball holder upper. But he's a ball holder upper, but very fleetingly because he's so quick that he gets the ball, retains it for those vital 2 seconds, by which time he switched it and passed it in an advanced position. Just quickly, Yano Yamako. No, you don't. we don't need to take players out. We just need to use our subs better. Bring players in for 30 minutes at the end of the game. Kraft for Trips and Murphy for Burn. So
is that really Eddie Howe?
It just shows you, though, doesn't it, that despite the fact that we've all pretty much decided what the lineup is going to be, that there's still umpteen by the conversation that's going on here and in the chat, umpteen permutations.
Oh, absolutely.
And that this gets back to what you were saying, Gary, that since Voltemada's come into the team, it's absolutely changed the way we play. Prior to him coming in, when Isak was there, we had one attacking objective, if you like. Get the ball to Isak in a scoring position.
I know.
If you like, even at the expense of getting scoring positions yourself.
Yeah.
I know I don't like stats that much, but could we get a heat map up with it's not the day because I know it takes a little time, but could we get a heat map up of where Voltemada is in a game and where Isak is in a game?
Yeah, well, I'll show you. This is how Isak. This is our whole season with Isak in the side, right? So this is how Newcastle used to line up, and it was the overload with the three on the side. So the left back, whoever was left back, left centre midfield, Isak and the left winger. That is literally there, and then the overload, and as you can see, the DM with the right centre mid, the right back going on. So there was your four on the right hand side that would transition, and there was your box four on the left hand side with Isak. So that is as far, if you look at Isak's seasonal heat map, and like I say, I will try and get it up in a minute so you can compare it, because I have got it somewhere. So if you look at that, it shows you that Isak actually never come beyond the halfway line throughout the whole season when we were in that defensive domain. So there's your passing lanes. Isak would always opt to go left of the centre, alongside J7 at times, before he transitioned towards the goal. So, and that's as far as he would go back. And I would, like I say, I will have a quick look in a minute to see if I can find the rest of it, because, like I say, I have got it somewhere. When you're looking at heat maps and stuff, there is the one. So let me pop that on the screen so you can see that. That's what's that one, Win?
This is Voldemort's.
Yeah, but you're not really going to see. Okay, go on, put it on, see what we can.
That's Voldemort this season.
This season, yeah, like I say, well, you can't really judge it.
So
But again,
he's in goal when he's defending.
Yeah, but he sits on that front or back post, doesn't he?
But he's all over the place. You never saw Isaac with a heat map like that.
Well, have you got Isaac?
But I'll get Isaac's up anyway.
Yeah, get Isaac as well. Because that's totally different to the one that I've got here. So this is what I've got of Isaac. This is 24-25 season. And as you can see with Isaac, and this is the area that I was concentrating on, he'd drop into the centre and walk along the line, and he'd hang around this area here to obviously get in off the shoulder of everybody else. So a little bit different from what we would do normally. So like I said, he brings a totally different dynamic. And like I say, if you look, like I say, Wynn's just put Voldemort's on there. Voldemort's is so different when it comes to it. It is crazy the amount of work the lad does. And that's what I said. It's, Voldemort across all of the top 5 leagues is in the top 6 for shot creating actions. I mean, when you look at that, right? Even though when I looked at his football, didn't look really out of this world, didn't look something different because he played with a partner up top. But then obviously he would drop into the 10 or the hole in front off the shoulder, and he'd play a totally different game. But he was still creating actions within the top 6, even playing with a partner. He was in the top 8% of successful take-ons. Now, this is across the top 5 leagues, guys. And that's what I said. He brings an absolute different dynamic when it comes to how he plays alongside Isaac. Because with these stats, and I know people are going to say, oh, well, they're just stats. They don't mean anything. When you're putting this player against all of the top players in the 5 leagues, across the 5 leagues, that's some going. And the one that really got me, and who would you say, right, was our best passer in the Newcastle side?
I tell you what.
Tonali.
Okay.
I tell you what. Dan Byrne passes a lot more times than people give him credit for.
Bless you.
In
Well,
fact,
let me just say,
it's
right?
not Tonali, it's probably Trips.
Let me just say, Voldemort is in the top 14% across all of the 5 big leagues for progressive passes.
Or progressive passes.
That's what I'm saying. Progressive passes.
That's exactly my point.
So the way he plays within for any side, whether it be Newcastle, Stuttgart, whoever, that's what he brings to the table. So he drops in deep, and his main intention is to get that ball wide and forward as much as he can. Go on then, Mighty. You've got something coming your way.
Yeah. So that's. Just a minute. Oh, well, we'll do it that way. That's Voldemort's heat map. And that's Isaac's. That's Isaac that's Isaac for the full season last season, which is a lot more games than that is. That's
Did he
only
start
this
defending
season.
corners?
Well, he used to run out to the width, didn't he? But I mean, as you can see, he's like a winger there, isn't he? Down that left-hand side.
No, but I'm saying at the back, he hasn't got any heat in our own box. Did he never ever defend corners?
Well, no, not really. He was always the one that would be on the edge of the box for that breakaway, if you want, looking for that second ball, rather than being the one trying to, come back and support the lads. And you look at Voltemada's heat map in our box now. Like I say, he sits at the back stick or the front stick, and he's supporting. But again, you've got to utilise the height of the lad, and I think that is something that I like to see where Voltemada is, within the ranks. And
I just think the way Voltemada plays is completely different to the way Isaac plays. And he can, his forte for me, one of the better, apart from scoring goals, which you could argue is his primary role, but again, that's what we bought Vissa for. But his massive strength for me is his ability for you to be able to pass the ball, even if he's got three players around him, pass the ball. It's not going to work every time, and he was caught in possession a couple of times on Wednesday. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but the number of times you can pass the ball to him when he's surrounded into those low block defences, and he will find a way to get it to a player ahead of him who's unmarked, either directly in front of him or, as he did for one of the goals on Wednesday, out of the wing for Murphy to put it in, and Bush, Gordon's there. And Voltemada had also, by the way, got up. He was expecting the ball to be cut back to him, but Murphy went more direct and straight to Gordon.
I think this is why we'll be better as well when we get two proper fullbacks back in regards to Hall and
Absolutely.
because they'll be able to push. We'll be able to push a little bit further forward. And I think with Voltemada, the thing that we're learning a little bit is the wingers are going to have to be a little bit more ready to run onto balls and ready to attack with him. Because,
and again, this is not
the area he plays.
Overnight.
There you go. That's Haaland, Voltemada in the middle, and Gyökeres. That's their heat maps this season. As you can see, I mean, the two lads, Gyökeres, obviously, he's willing to go a little bit more out there, but nobody covers the same ground as Voltemada. It's crazy the way he drifts into this pocket of space, left or right of centre if you're facing your own goal, and his ability to turn on that ball, and we all praised him when he had four players around him at one point. He was able to keep the ball close control, and then he just looks to play that ball into the channel, because what he's done, he's drawn players. And again, if you look at the Benfica game, when he comes deep, a couple of their Benfica centre-backs were, well, do I go? Do I stay? And it's creating the opportunity. And it was his movement, I think, that created that Barnes goal, because the defender actually follows Voltemada out when he just literally touches it to Gordon with the first touch, and then it's Gordon then that utilises the space that Voltemada's created to throw it into the slot. So, for me, he has been an absolute breath of fresh air from somebody, and I'll hold my hand up because I know the lad underneath me at the minute was shouting his name all pre-season, all through June and July. I didn't want him. But to be fair, from what I've seen so far, I'm so glad the likes of Sesko, Gyökeres, and all the others turned us down, because what this lad's bringing to Newcastle at the minute is something that I haven't seen before.
Gary, can I just say as well, with that heat map of Voltemada, I've never noticed this before, but he's also having to help cover Dan Burn at left back by the look of it.
Oh my days! It was only going to be a matter of time, wasn't it? It was literally only going to be a matter of time. Oh, bless you. But
the reason he's going over there is because he knows he'll get the ball off Dan Burn.
Oh, here
He's
we
at left
go.
back.
Here we
Well,
go.
that's it. Anybody can get the ball off Dan Burn. That's part of the problem.
Touche.
Oh, where is Chris's
Touche.
soundboard when you want one? Oh my days! That's superb. Okay, let's get on to where we were then. Well, I can't even remember where we were.
They were saying, play your strongest team and then make changes. It's too early in the season to make the changes in the cup. It's too early in the season. Make the changes in the cup if you want to, but not for Premier League games.
It's not too early in the season to make the changes. I think what we've done in the past is went too far in the season before we've made changes, and it's causing injury issues. I think if you're constantly rotating, not only does it mean that the players are getting game time, it also means that you're going to naturally get less injuries.
If Fraser's saying Miley will play Wednesday, that's a perfect opportunity to use him in the cup.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I know what doing the Fulham preview here, but it's going to be interesting to see what Frank does in terms of his selection. But where's it'll give us a good indication as to where his priorities are.
I thought they were very lucky last night against Monaco from the bits that I was seeing, to be fair. They didn't, I mean, again, people have been saying where we are in the Champions League compared to the Premier League. I was going to ask you guys, is the form, we're all worried about the form and everything else, and I understand the reasons why in the Premier League. But are we leaving a little bit in the locker room in readiness for the amount of games? 7 games in 23 days. Is it a case of psychologically the lads aren't putting all into every game?
Well, we've said twice. Obviously, I only do the away commentaries because I'm at the match for the home commentaries. But twice in the away commentaries, we've both remarked on how we'll go through these phases within a game to, if you like, conserve energy, where we'll press like mad, and then for 10 minutes, we'll sit back, recuperate, recharge, and then we'll go for another 10, 15 minutes full belt. And that seems to be a bit of a pattern. Now, I don't see that replicated in home games. In home games, we tend to just, we're basically pressing. If we've got the bodies available, we're pressing the whole time. But both you and I have noticed in away games when we seem to go through these, energy sapping phases of the games. And, I wonder if that's got something to do with what you're talking about, is just keeping that bit in the locker.
What's your thoughts, Boki?
I think all games that you can't expect just to attack the full game. You can't expect to be all out power the full game, especially away. And I think especially away from home. That's less of a worry to me. The more worry is when you are having those quieter periods, is controlling them. If you are, you do need, and all teams need time to recoup the batteries. There's every team in the history of the Premier Leagues have always done that, but it's how you manage. We don't seem to manage those periods at times very well. It's sometimes a case of, play it around the back a little bit. Play it a couple of sideways balls, which win hits, I know, but a couple of sideways balls, and just give the attacking players a time to get the breath back and play.
One of the main reasons we don't do that well is because of Nick Pope in the middle of our goal. That if you watch other teams, when they are going through that phase, they utilise the goalie to a lot more effect than what we do. And still, sadly, despite his wonderful 65-yard assist on Wednesday, he's still like a rabbit in the headlights when the ball gets passed to him. if there's an opposition player within 20 yards of him. He's and yet, maddeningly, what he still does is even if a player's 20 yards away, he'll dawdle and dawdle and dawdle on the ball until that player's no longer 20 yards away, but 2 yards away, 1 yard away. And then he's back in the panic mode, and he's actually had it. And this is what I'm saying, that other teams in that situation, when they pass to their goalkeeper, he's far more controlled in that couple of seconds or second and a half that he's got to think about it. He's actually looking around all over the place to see what's available. He's not looking at the ball and making sure, yes, I can control this. So
I think the problem is we know what Pope's weaknesses are. So we can sit here and talk about him till the cows come home. At 30 odd years old, he's never going to change. So I think the question is Howe willing to swap him round and play Ramsdale, or is he willing just to put up with with his weaknesses because of how good a shot stopper he is? Yeah. And to me, I would be playing Ramsdale. I know you probably you agree when you'd have Ramsdale in the team, especially the.
I certainly think it's worth. You're talking about making a change that's worth a go because we can, because we know the drop off between Ramsdale and Pope is not going to be, jaw breaking. So that's one change that you could make almost risk-free, and let's see if by doing so you get really, really well rewarded in terms of the keeper's footwork.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know.
Or alternatively, you just say pick it up and throw it. Sadly, you can't always do that, of course.
I mean, we've had loads of times, haven't we, in the past where we've got runners at Newcastle that have been available, and we've seemed to have stopped. We've stopped that thought process of progressing the ball, and we've just thought about keeping and retaining the ball. So for me, I think one, you've got to have players that have got confidence in achieving what they're trying to do. Sometimes, as we saw with Miley when he gave that ball away and we lost the goal, you've got to be careful where you're passing out from as well. So, like I say, I think, for me, it's a case of when you're not in danger, try and take the gamble. We've seen Ilanga do lots of running away from the ball. We've seen Anthony Gordon do it. Lots of running away from that defender. But why we don't automatically switch on, we seem to do it a lot more right to left on the diagonal. Very rarely do we look at doing it left to right on the diagonal, which to me is surprising. Let's have a quick look at
just a quick sweep back at the keeper. Do you think if we'd signed Trafford before we went to Man City, he would have been first choice if he came in?
Yeah.
Oof. I suppose.
I think he would. You're not going to buy him for to sit on the bench.
But I mean,
let's face it. That was one of the reasons, allegedly, that we didn't get him last season.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't guarantee him first team football.
Because you wouldn't guarantee him a place. But I think the fact that we've went back with all guns blazing this season means that they are prepared to say to him, yes, you will be number one.
So does that kind of prove Eddie knows that we need to change keeper? And I think the question then is, if we bought Ramsdale in because of that, why aren't we playing him? Why aren't we giving him the chance to do it?
It's a valid question. Question indeed. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I would certainly have given him more game time now than what he's had. He only played against Bradford, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, really, isn't it? Quick look at the tables then. Nothing between both Newcastle and Fulham, to be fair. 8 games played, 2 wins each, 3 draws to Newcastle, 2 to Fulham, 3 losses, 4 to Fulham. with a 7-7, so 0 goal difference for Newcastle. And over the last 5, it's 1-2, lost 2, drawn 1. To Fulham, who seem to be on a little bit of a downer, to be fair. So they're on a -4 goal difference, 1-2, lost the last 3 on 8 points. So seemingly going a little bit off the ball, because they did start pretty well, didn't they?
Just to get quickly, Gavin Fuller, super chat. Thanks for your $4.99, Gavin. Great work, lads. He's saying thank you very much.
Cheers,
Always
buddy.
nice to know it's appreciated. Thank you very much, Gavin.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it is. It's going to be, like I say, on paper, it should be a one-horse race, but it never is. And I think Newcastle just seem to keep you on the edge of your seat sometimes, and that's what makes me wonder whether the fact that we've got another 7 games in 20 odd days, whether the lads are actually keeping stuff in the locker. And Boki's right, you know. You bring these this is Eddie's team now. These are the lads that Eddie's picked to come in and make us better throughout the squad. So there has got to be time going forward where Eddie has to make a choice and rotate players. Whether that be to the detriment of the players, as in, you know, do you still get the same patterns of play? I think at the end of the day, if you get the results, I think patterns of play follow, you know, and I think the lads have to go out there. And I'm going to ask you something, because I saw, I don't know, I did star it. Let me see if I can pick it up. Yeah, here's one. I saw this one and I thought I have to star this. Marco 4863 said, if Voltemada passes the ball for every game but doesn't score, then I'll be calling Voltemada out, because his job is to score goals. But
Well,
what
I
if his
certainly
job's
would.
also to be assisting others? Because we've said, you know, you can't rely solely and purely throughout a whole season of your striker to be the one who's the out.
No,
That's
the big
I think
mistake
we had with Isak, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had the same problem with Shearer to a degree, and when Shearer had that dry run, it completely kerfuffled Newcastle. We had it with Isak, who's had the same situation. Where if he wasn't scoring, nobody else was. I think it's about other players have to take some responsibility here.
and the main striker, which is what Voltemada is at the minute, has to take on board assisting duties as well. I've got some interesting match facts. So Fulham have lost each of their last 3 Premier League games, and it's not since March, April 23-24 that they lost 4 on the trot. So that's not a long history that we've got to recapture. And they've also only kept 1 clean sheet in their last 17 Premier League games. So them bets you can get on for both teams scoring. Certainly Newcastle look to be scoring. However, only Burnley and Sunderland, with 21 each, have had fewer shots on target than Fulham in the Premier League this season. They have had 23. So Sunderland and Burnley have had 21 each. Fulham have had 24. And they failed to register a single one against Arsenal last time out. I think this coincides with Robinson being injured, because he is so much a part of their attack that...
Well, I think also Smith Rowe
there's only
has been a
Fulham and
disappointment
Wolves
for them.
who haven't scored more than 1 this season. And Nick Voltemada has scored 4 goals in his 5 Premier League games. The only player to reach 5 or 6 in fewer appearances. And there's an odd one here. Most people would get Ferdinand and Cisse, perhaps.
Yeah.
But the third player who scored 5 in 6, who I'd completely forgotten about, was Loic Remy.
Oh, yeah.
When we had him on loan.
Can I just pick one point Gary was making about the scoring in the team? I think that is a major point to raise. In that, for me, the way we play, the 2 Voldemort should be probably 15 to 20 goals a season if he's playing up front. Your two wingers should be on 8 to 10 goals a season, I would say. So Gordon and Elanga should be 8 to 10. And then your central midfielders who are attacking, so Bruno and J7 at the minute, they should be on 5 to 6 to 7. And none of our players are really on trajectory to do that.
Well, Bruno is, to be fair. But if you're going for 5 or 6, I would argue maybe even more. Because if you go back in the day, we had the likes of Clarkey and Lee and Speed were all getting 8s, 9s, and 10s.
You want more. What I'm saying is a team, if you're getting those sort of goals, you're going to win a hell of a lot more games than you lose. But at the minute, we're not. That I think that's the major. The concern is not Voldemort as such, but that V shape between the four players, the two wingers and the two central midfielders, attacking central midfielders, that they're just not picking up enough goals.
Yeah, well,
I'm talking Premier League.
I think that's a lot. I don't think Tenoli's got enough goals, and that's because they're not shooting enough.
But
if you don't shoot, you don't score.
If Tenoli's playing the number 6, so
but he still gets forward. Well, he's already got goals, so we know he can get forward.
No, but you can't expect to score a lot of goals because of the position he plays.
Alex Iwobi has made 299 Premier League appearances so far, so he'll become he's the first Nigerian and only the 5th African player to reach 300 Premier League games, behind Kolo Toure, Mo Salah, Wilfred Zaha, and Jordan Ayew. And as a team, and this is alluding to the low blocks that we are regularly facing. As a team, Newcastle have made more line-breaking passes behind the defensive line than any other Premier League team this season, with 61. And captain Bruno Guimaraes leads the way with 15.
But is that
15?
That's a nice stat, but is it not a worry as well that we're in the position we're in, yet we're leading on that stat?
Exactly. It proves the point that we've been missing finishers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just looking.
That's exactly what it proves.
On the per 90, right? Jacob Murphy, believe it or not, is winning per 90 with his 3.79 shots. Then it's Anthony Gordon, 3.42, and I was just questioning, and it's part of the conversation that you guys were having, but on the stats that I was watching earlier over the top 5 divisions, Nick Voltemada only averages 2.5 shots per game, and yet he's still on 4 goals.
Well, he got 5 out of 5 on target.
But that's what I'm saying. If you look at over his season, last season, it was exactly the same. I think it was 2.67 or something silly over the entire season. But it's clinical. When you're talking about being a clinical finisher, I think if you're averaging, that type of thing, and it seems to be going the same vein again today with 2.51 shots, and he's still well above everybody else in Newcastle when it comes to finishing. But I was surprised to see that it was Murphy that takes the most shots. But I suppose when you look back, he does cut inside and have a go with his left foot a lot. Anthony Gordon always tries to see that far.
Coming here from, I don't know if it's our Geordie Dan, because this is it's the same photo, yeah, it's our Geordie Dan. And he's saying we didn't get Trafford last season because Mitchell paid off Burnley with his conduct. I haven't heard that one before. But interesting.
Yeah, there was one or two conversations apparently that didn't go down very well. Let's put it that way. I'd read about it, but again, I didn't really take that much on board, because if the end of it, I think Burnley knew that they were onto a loser anyway, because I take loads more shots than that when I'm watching the match. Yeah, exactly. I think you're absolutely right, Gaza. It is crazy to think that, you know, when you look at the game as a whole, as we do, the amount of shots that we are producing from the front line, we're just not finishing. And I think that's what I'm saying. For me, even though, as Marco was saying before, Voltemada is there to do a job, but we play with a 4-3-3 for a reason. We play with 3 forwards for a reason, and that's to try and dominate in the final third. We've done it before. It just seems to be a little bit awry at the minute. Now, is that because of new partnerships? Or is it just because
you know,
of confidence?
It was always going to take time to bet in. Mark debates, hiya, buddy, we have not made many chances for Nick to his feet. Well, I can think of at least half a dozen when he has had the ball to his feet. And I mean, I can remember who was the super keeper? Matt Sells against Forest stopped. I still don't know to this day how we stopped them. And there was one on Wednesday. So we are actually getting the ball to his feet as well.
But I'm just going to put this on
what we haven't seen him do yet, which again is one of the main reasons that I wanted to get him, why I've wanted him for so long, was we haven't yet seen him pick the ball up on the edge of the area and dribble past 3 players and put it away, that was his trademark goal at Stuttgart. You know, he probably scored 10 goals last season doing that, picking the ball up outside the box, dribbling past his man, and putting the ball away.
But we're talking about when him settling in. You've got
absolutely.
You've got to look from both points. So it's not just our players getting used to playing with him; it's him getting used to playing with our players.
Absolutely, and it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, but I also think when you're playing with a partner up top, and I think that is different. You know, he's playing on his own majority of the time, where Stuttgart he was playing alongside somebody else. So if you've got movement from that body, taking away defensive pressure, then you've got more chance of being able to do what you do really well. And I think he does hold the ball up really well. The problem is with our system, he's got 2 bodies on him nearly all the time.
Yeah.
Unless
3.
somebody, or 3. Or if somebody doesn't make a run. And that's why I said over the last few games, the most important difference that I've seen at Newcastle is movement. Because that tells, and it allows Voltemada to create that body of space. Because without that, we know he hasn't got the pace to beat players, but he's certainly got the skill set to do so. Just going on to what Marco was saying, I think it was Marco, it was somebody who said, Mag Debates, talking about what Slotter's doing. Chris is here on at 9:30, so I'm just going to hand over. He's on now, look. He's going to go through, we can't hear you, Chris. Chris, we can't hear you, dude. No, nothing. There you go. So Chris is going to go all over the news today and do the confidential and things like that. So he's the one that's going to take me from the helm. And
preview, by the way. Forward. Good preview. What's your prediction?
Thank you. 3-1 for me.
3-1. Well, Fulham scoring, that's not good, but.
Well, I've got to give them 1, and I don't think they've got it in them, but I'm going to say 3-1. I might change my mind yet, though.
I said 3-0. I said 3-0 as well, but I'm hopeful.
I didn't know you said 3-0. I'm going to go with my 5-point scoreline, 3-0.
Hey.
Okay.
And Borky's going 5-1.
I know.
He's suddenly come onto the daylight side.
He's come onto the happy clappers.
If you look at my predictions, I always predict that we'll win.
Yeah, your heart always rules your head, mate. Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Lovely to be with you. Thank you to everybody that's watched. Catch you on the next one.
Cheers, mate.
For now.
Have a good one. Well, how's it going, lads? I mean, it is 9:30 in the UK. By the way, the late night show starts right now.
Set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Derek and the rest of the panel, Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK, 3:30 p.m. USA, and UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
All right, the voice of the Toon Army, mighty win.
Who did he say Derek was?
The
mighty Navy wench.
The mighty. I have a TWAT word for you, but neither here nor there. Welcome, folks. Don't forget to smash the like button. Yeah, we're getting into the late night show here, 9:30 in the UK. What's the weather outside in Newcastle, ladies and gentlemen? Or gentlemen?
It's raining all day.
It is raining. Well, it did say it was going to be cloudy. It did say it was going to be cloudy around 1 or 2 p.m. I checked the weather in Newcastle. That's how much invested I am. Can you believe that?
Well, I did my washing yesterday, and I hung it out to dry. And then with various things happening, I didn't get to bring it in. So I thought, I looked at the weather forecast at about 11 o'clock last night, and it said it was going to be dry till 10 o'clock this morning. So I says, I'll wait till I get up and do it then. And of course, it started raining at 8 o'clock, so it was wetter when I eventually got it in and put it in the dryer. And
you guys, the funniest thing is, you guys hang your clothes, man. I used to do that when I was in Peru. You know, I was dead poor, had to hang clothes up. But now I got a dryer, man. How come you guys can get a dryer? It's too cheap to buy a dryer.
Got a dryer. Didn't want to use it. Dryer. Come, you want fresh air blowing through your clothes, man, when they're drying.
That takes 10 days, man, and a bank holiday in between. I ain't got no time for that. I need my clothes.
To hear his neighbours to be able to see his wife fronts on the line, Chris.
Yeah.
All that goes on the line for me really is me towels and sheets.
All your underwear hanging, man. You're not ashamed of showing that, man. All the old underwear.
Not the matter with my kicks.
Oh man, old yellow stained underwear. But anyway,
it's all black, so it doesn't show the yellow stain.
There you go. We got to call. It's too much information, man. Come on. Anyway, we got to talk about the confidential, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Hope came out with some news today. The new CEO David Hopkinson. He gave He has a 100-day review shaping Newcastle United's future. He's laying down the law. We're going to talk about that. Also, some remarks that might be hinting at he's basically telling the truth and what me, Boki, and the lads have been saying, really, that success is based in results and not words, literally his words. And at the end of the day, it's all about results. That's all it is about. And also, but he did compare Eddie Howe to American star Bruce Springsteen. He is the man in charge, and he is the man that needs to take Newcastle United, get the results for Newcastle United, of course. And but I feel like he is laying down the law as well. And we're going to get into the whole article, of course. So Divin worry, man. We are here until 11 p.m. UK, so stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button. Super chat right away if you want to donate and highlight your comment, or become a member so you can enjoy exclusive content, or gift memberships away if you are a member of the channel. Did you guys read the article? Did you do your homework?
Nope.
No,
we'll give you all the glory.
Well, I mean, I will read the article. Don't worry about that. But
first, you're going to get our comments on it fresh off the press, as it were.
Well, he's getting this. He's having this 100. By the way, we might have some tickets on some news on tickets. Season tickets is a waiting list. Might come back again to resurface after a long time. When I don't know why he's happy. He already has a season ticket. We don't need more. We don't need more wins. We need more American mags. We need more bogies. We need more of those proper fans in there.
Just on the subject of season tickets, I haven't had one yet. I haven't had my email. But my son's had his email, and can anybody in the chat confirm this? That the Tottenham ticket, you're not getting a separate ticket, separate code, anything like that. It has just been added to your season pass. So all you've got to do is present your normal season ticket when you go through the turnstile. I haven't had that. And I tried to ring the club shop as soon as Chris rang me and told us about it. I rang the club shop and said, why haven't I had an email? Because I've got to worry.
Well, Jesus Art came in this morning, so it might be
Still bad dad saying, mine came this morning. Are you talking about your Carabao ticket or email saying that it had been added to your season pass? Which?
It's on your season ticket.
Season ticket, correct.
There you go.
So still bad dad is held, is it?
Well, YouTube, we're live on YouTube, folks, for the ones listening on radio. So, the YouTube has switched the names. It might be a glitch or something. So, it is what it is. We don't like to talk about technical problems, man. It is what it is. We move on. We keep doing our thing. And so we're going to talk. We might have something on the season tickets, by the way, from the Chronicle. They got some information. But let's go into the confidential special from Craig Hope today. It says inside new CEO David Hopkinson's 100-day review that will transform the club. What Toon insiders really think of him, the hardline message he sent to staff, and why he likens Eddie Howe to an American rock star, Bruce Springsteen, for whatever that's worth, really. Do you guys know
the boss?
Okay. Well, you're talking about Hopkinson. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. So this thing says right here, the new chief executive has launched a 100-day review of the club's workings. At the end of it, his diagnosis will shape how Newcastle United looks, thinks, and functions. There will be changes in strategy, personnel, and in time, culture. Ooh, an American, a Canadian, almost the same thing. They're about 51st state anyway. They're a North American trying to change the culture of Newcastle United. Oh my God, the world is ending, ladies and gentlemen. But I think it's more like keeping the culture or reviving the culture. But we're going to get into it. It is a bold way to introduce yourself, says this article, to more than 500 staff newly under your charge. But Hopkinson knows he will learn all he needs from their response. Those who still want to go in their own direction will be shown the door, and a fresh wave of appointments are also expected to follow. Woo! Already, that's not a proper boss, man. Getting in the building, not finding around. He's getting paid millions, literally millions. How many millions do you think he gets a year? The CEO of Newcastle United.
I think he's probably on
20 million.
150 a week, maybe.
What is that a year?
That would be 7.5 million.
6-7 million. Gonna be on, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it. No, it'd be 20 million. I'm the boss man. What? Who?
No. The boss is the guy that gets things done.
So this says insiders.
I would think there'll be a lot of bonuses there based on how much profit we'll make.
So insiders say that they are enthused by the Canadian's forthright leadership. Say he has brought a fresh sense of focus and just enough fear to bolt anyone who was on their backside up onto their toes. You're either with us. This is quote, by the way. In the quote, you're either with us or with yourself is said to be his mantra. Do you want to have a first comments on that, or is it just a regular? Because we didn't hear about this from Darren Neals.
That all sounds good to me.
Yeah, well,
we did hear more or less the same thing from Darren Neals, and we heard especially the same as that from Amanda. We have all got to be pulling in the same direction. Nobody going their own way.
I think David Hopkins' message more will win is sort of, I'm in charge here now, sort of,
letting everybody. Maybe
Let
that's what.
who is the boss?
No, well, maybe it is Boki. What you were saying.
Well, the fact that he's referring to Bruce Springsteen, who, I mean, I can't think of any other reason that he would be doing so other than that Bruce Springsteen is the boss.
He's referring to Eddie Howe as Bruce Springsteen, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're going to get to that part. But I'm saying maybe it is what Boki's saying, because for a long time, nobody knew who did what. Nobody knew who was the boss. Everybody, Darren Neals, we don't even know he was in Newcastle. He was sick. He's not sick. All of this, really speculations. And maybe he's telling everybody, because that's that feeling that we felt that nobody's in charge of the club. Remember that. Maybe inside Newcastle, everybody felt the same way. Everybody was doing their own thing and nothing else. And he's like, wait a minute, hold up. Wait a second. I'm the boss.
Hold it.
I'm in here, and you better pay attention rather quickly. So Hopkinson and new sporting director Ross Wilson are aligned. They want, in quote, one club. They have heard the stories from inside and out of how post-takeover Newcastle reunited began to splinter following the ousting against their wishes of co-owners Stavely and Godusi 15 months ago. Training ground, boardroom, and academy became separate islands. Tensions grew, lingered, and irritated. The job Eddie Howe has done to that backdrop has been remarkable for a leadership void at executive level. Left the head coach carrying more than balls, literally. I'm talking about footballs, clearly. Bibs and cones. He was at times the de facto CEO and sporting director. Oh, this is unbelievable. Boki. We are proven right, baby. We are proven right. Eddie Howe was the man in charge, basically. He was doing everything. I mean,
except he didn't write the checks.
He was in charge of the cheeseburgers. He was in charge of everything. He was de facto CEO and sporting director. Listen, but look, it is what it is. It's over now, Win.
So, and by the way, that's Craig Hope's opinion.
Do you think he's lying? He doesn't have any information on this? He's writing an article.
What he's saying is that Eddie had to pick up all of those mantles.
No, but
nobody else was doing it.
No, but he's speaking with information. He's speaking with information. So he's putting some quotes in there. I'm just saying, man. So just because you don't like
that Eddie Howe was de facto CEO and DOF is not in quotes. That is Craig Hope's take on things.
Because the information is that the club was splintering out. That was cool.
And that's true. Post-Amanda, it was.
The training ground, boardroom, and academy became separate islands. That's the information. Tensions grew, lingered, and irritated. The job Eddie Howe has done to that backdrop has been remarkable. So he's actually praising him for a leadership void at executive level that left the head coach carrying more than balls, bibs, and cones. He was at times the de facto CEO and sporting director. So that comes with information. It's not an opinion, man. And it's obviously nobody appointed Eddie Howe as the CEO for the transfer window, but more or less he was doing somewhat around that job. So for Hopkinson Howe is the club's Bruce Springsteen. That's in quote, by the way. He wants the boss to be thinking about Fulham on Saturday, not clearing debris that is a legacy of the recent past. They speak not every day, but the less they do, the less there is to fix, and the more time Howe has for football. Because for everything Hopkinson is doing and plans to do, there is ultimately one metric by which to measure success: the number of matches won. It is 6 weeks since former Madison Square Garden chief landed on Tyneside to work and live in the UK for the first time. Staff say he has shown great curiosity in every role, from marketing to commercial to media and ticketing. He asks more questions than he answers. He wants to learn before teaching. And we're going to pause the article right here because Wynn is happy clapping on something that he says he backs, but really his takes don't really follow suit with his happy clapping because if you on about results, you would criticize more and stop happy clapping the team because results as of this season are not up to par.
Results is what it's all about.
Yeah. So
Bottom line, no excuses, no nothing. That is the bottom line. And
that's
if you're
right.
not getting results, you do something about it.
There's one quote I've said, and I don't want to say it in case you come to it, Chris, but I think it's a massive one. So when you do get there, I think that'll answer a lot of questions.
Okay, we can get to that.
I look forward to it.
You know why it says CEOs major football teams are paid 3.4 million. Man City CEO gets 3.4 million a year. Shout out to Rebecca and everybody else in the chat. Was Eddie getting the CEO and DOF wages? Well, maybe he wasn't. It was just getting paid. There's a question there from Tony T. Is that suggesting those other roles were thrusted onto Howe? Or he tried to take control in these roles? Well, we don't know really what exactly happened.
Well, thrusted on him.
No. You said when he stormed upstairs and wanted full control.
Ooh.
Didn't want full control. He wanted Mitchell out.
It wasn't thrust upon him. That's exactly what he wanted.
He wanted Mitchell out, correct.
So then he wanted control.
By getting Mitchell out,
he wanted control. He just wanted somebody better doing that job.
But effectively, if you're gonna get rid of DEF in the middle of a window, that means a football head would have to take care of.
But it wasn't in the middle of the window.
It wasn't in the middle. He left in the middle of the window. Yeah.
No, that was when he left. But he effectively left in May.
No,
on the last day of the season.
He was in Newcastle the whole time, and it was told and reported that he was going to finish his duties.
He was doing sod all.
And after how do you know that? And leave after the window was over. And for some reason, he was let go. What happened? Is the question.
Well, during that
why
period,
wasn't he replaced? Is the question.
But during that period,
he wasn't doing window, man. That's not.
Why weren't they knew he was going to go?
But I'm saying during that period, Eddie didn't do much. It took PIF to step in, and the Rubens brothers to get transferred.
What Eddie did was produce the list of the players that he wanted, who all turned us down one by one, or we didn't bid enough for them one by one. Eddie did what he did, and then but he didn't have a DOF or a CEO to say, there you are, go and get them.
He was de facto DOF and CEO. That's just what's been read out.
That's
great. Well, I agree. But you know what de facto means?
Yeah, that
means doing the job of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So he was in charge of transfers.
Basically, but he was kind of, he was praising him.
But he couldn't write a check.
Yeah, but if he were to say, you know what, let me identify some cheaper targets that are proper footballers instead of, going with these players that everybody wants.
Hang on here. If he identified some cheaper target, we are a big club now. We shouldn't be looking for scraps. We should be buying the top club. We're the top player. How weird, man. Make your mind up.
I'm really glad that you're learning.
Yeah, but I wasn't... So you say getting a Barella?
What I'm saying is he produced the list of players that he wanted, and we ended up getting number 6 and number 7 on the list.
Okay, well, all right, let's continue with the article then. Earlier this week, a word reached the Daily Mail on his 100-day review, likened by some to like the one that Sir Jim Ratcliffe did in Manchester United when he got there. So Craig Hope approached the 54-year-old for comment. Rather than deny Hopkinson or deflect or ask for discretion, he spoke candidly about its intention, albeit off the record, and was happy for that openness to be reflected. There is nothing to hide, says Hopkinson. After a full summer in the Far East and Northeast, speaking to and being around the club's hierarchy and owners, and now into autumn, with the installment of Hopkinson and Wilson, it feels clear to me, Craig Hope, that Newcastle is in good place, but good is not great, and that is the focus of Hopkinson's review. Let me ask you this, because when you were a taxi driver, so you commanded a few people in your taxi, get in, get out, put your seatbelt on, and all that stuff. what would be 100? What would be the purpose of the 100 day review? Like, what do you ask people how they feel about their job, if they're happy, if they,
Well, what we've heard is that he spent those 100 days buying, which this I all think this is fantastic, which is why I was happy clapping. He spent those 100 days not telling people stuff, but realizing that he's the new kid on the block.
Well, the 100 days not over, man.
Let's see what's happened. But we've already heard from the horse's mouth that he spent those days asking questions. Not telling people what to do, asking questions to find out what's the situation. And one of the best things you can do in any business is ask the employees, what do you need to do your job better? Why can't you do your job better? What's preventing you doing your job better? What can we do to help you do your job better? You ask questions. You don't go and say, right, don't tip your skip at the back of the lane, get to the front of the lane and you'll get away quicker and but you can't do that because such and such is, right, no, then we'll find out why you can't do your job better. So you do things then to facilitate everybody doing their jobs better. And I think it's fantastic that he's coming in and he's asking questions from the various departments we've heard, commercial, you said, training, you name it. And he's saying, why are we not getting the results? Why, for in the commercial department, how come we've got no sponsors in? And they might turn around and say, well, we've been told not to do much really because PIF, I'm not saying this is the case, but I'm saying it's a possibility. PIF are saying, keep our powder dry until we get the result of the Man City case. All of these factors going on all over the club. And as if you remember, the strain of all these rules ended with Eddie being admitted to hospital.
He had pneumonia.
Which I'd actually forgotten about.
He had pneumonia, man.
And he didn't have all that rules at that point.
We acted as if he had an anxiety attack or a heart murmur or
I'd forgotten all about that, bless him. But anyway, as I say, I think it's wonderful that the CAO is coming in and trying to. He's going to do the job properly. That's what that says to me. He's doing the job properly.
Oh, certainly is. All right.
Just a quick point. So is that number 14 on my list now? Eddie was in hospital last season for the.
Have I ever used that as an excuse? No.
I do think it's good what he's doing a full review of the club. I think maybe saying 100 days is a bit of a daft thing. Just say I'm doing a full review of the club. But it'd be interesting if he was but he must have been in charge of the decision to sack the ladies manager, Becky, because. If that is that's the first bit of ruthlessness that they've shown since they've come in regards to management.
It is, I mean, as much as because some people are not into women's football, some are, but it's irrelevant really because to the people that it matters to, they were all shocked of the sacking, and they were all because she brought us up, I think promoted consecutive years and whatnot. I don't know that we're in the. I feel bad about it, but I don't know that we're in the main stage. I'm not sure, but I think we are. I think we played against. Did we play against?
We're in the championship.
We're in a Oh, there we go. So we're in the championship. One more, and we'll be back. We'll not be back.
LS2. Excuse me while I fall asleep.
We will be relax, man. We will be going with the main teams, but. People were shocked about that particular case, and so I think it does show ruthlessness, if you will, by sacking and breaking the mold, not waiting, not thinking that she'll figure it out, or maybe thinking like some and say, it's a women's football, man, they'll figure it out, type of thing. They show a little bit of ambition and say, you know what, we should be better than what we are, and boom, they sack the manager. Does that mean is that the same thing as what could happen with the men's team? The same type of standards. I don't know.
The only proviso I would put in everything you've just said is the fact that the women's team are one of the best. They're certainly the best funded team in the Championship, and they were by far the best funded teams in the
And that
two
company,
divisions they've come out from post takeover.
I think
They were given a load of cash in relative terms.
in relative terms, because it's 5 million, I think. I know in men's football it's
Yeah,
nothing.
but 5 million in the women's fourth division is like, untold wealth kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's the
And
only level
so
that I would put in there. Nonetheless, complimenting Becky Langley on what she did and getting the promotions. She didn't have her hands tied behind her back all the while she was doing it with PSR, because
that means
the women, you can spend what you like on a women's team and PSR doesn't come into it.
So, continuing with the article, here it says, after a full summer in the we read that part, I think. Parts of the club are satisfied with last season's Carabao Cup win and a return to Champions League, which parts won bigger trophy and won more of them. That comes back to culture, the sort of stuff that does not show on a PowerPoint presentation. Hopkinson knows as much and will quickly identify those who are committed to the direction in which he intends to take the club. Just I'm gonna, because he goes on about the fan advisory board, which is interesting, and we're gonna talk about the season tickets later on. But that statement right there, culture, I have one immediately think comes to mind, right? And it might be one of the negative sides, but let me read that again. Some parts of the club are satisfied with the Carabao Cup's win and a return to Champions League, which parts won bigger trophies and more of them. That comes back to culture. Culture meaning what everybody thinks. Everybody, really. The sort of stuff that does not show on a PowerPoint presentation. Hopkinson knows as much and will quickly identify those who are committed to the direction in which he intends to take the club. Is he battling with culture and people that say, look at where we've been. Look at Mike Ashley. Carabao Cup, Champions League, man. Everything. Divin' worry, man. Divin' worry. Or where he wants to take us is, this ain't it. This is not it. We got to keep on going about it. We got to put our head down and get to work.
Why are the two necessarily self-boring? Why can you not be extremely happy with the Carabao Cup and two Champions Leagues in 3 seasons and still want to go on and do it again and do better and improve?
But apparently, there are some people within the club that are complacent and some that
them out.
So there you go. So that's what I'm trying to get at. So there are people that think that, this is the Divin worry people, Boki. And, there are people that obviously, so he's trying to identify these people and tell them, don't let the door hit you on your way out, because it ain't enough for Newcastle.
I think part of the problem is that you've got people probably like we're doing in the channel, where because we've done something amazing, we've won a cup finally, there's sort of a relief, and it's sort of just thank God we've done that. And maybe it's a little bit of the passion and the sort of the want to succeed is gone out them, because they've finally seen we do that. Whereas I think what the new chief executive officer is obviously saying is, no, that's not enough. Yes, it's been great that we've done that, but now we take off. We're like a rocket. You shoot up.
And what was my exact sentiment after we won the Carabao Cup?
But when the end of my point there was going to be is that happening this season? Are we rocketing? We've spent a lot of money. Are we rocketing up the leagues and things now? No,
not yet. We're not. But there's reasons for it.
But that's what he's saying. He doesn't want to hear reasons. He just wants it to happen. He wants this club not to make excuses.
You see, I do not think he is that unrealistic.
Yeah, but if he was part of the sacking of Becky Langley,
my
who spent a lot of money,
my reaction to winning the cup was right.
Yeah, right.
Now we've got that monkey off our back. let's get on and push on. And I was
Well, I think
expecting the transfer window to allow us to do exactly that.
That
And
certainly
we know what bloody knocked the wheels off that happening.
you said it was the best transfer window. We've improved with squad. It's the best squad ever.
At the
You
finish,
know,
at
should
the
be
finish, it
taking over
was.
the season.
When let me ask you this. Let me ask you, because again, the Becky Langley sacking, they spent they gave him $5 million. I don't know how much went to the team or whatever, but they did make some signings. But they apparently sacked there because of the lack of results and lack of direction. Like, it didn't seem like we were moving up as fast. But they did spend. So compared to Newcastle United, we spent $200 million. However you want to look at it, everybody has injuries. And as you mentioned earlier on, Fulham has all the injuries in the world. These results that we must win, if they're not starting to happen, then you've got to start questioning. And where we're at in the season right now is certainly not where Newcastle United should be. So I'm just
It's
saying,
exactly where we should be.
no, it isn't. Are you kidding me, man?
Given the
Are you
transfer window, given the way the transfer window went, and the injuries that we've had since, which have prevented that transfer window kicking into gear, it's exactly where we should be. In fact, it's not. We should probably be a bit better off, and that's been unfortunate.
So you're saying we're exactly where is it, the club we are now? We're exactly where we should be. This is what your expectations are of our club.
No, it's not. My expectations are for us to be in the Champions League again at the end of the season, and that's exactly where I think we'll be.
I mean, again, so my question the other day for you was, if those three players are injured for the rest of the season, and you wouldn't answer, you would say that because we got to do some adjustments in the. But if we have this squad without those players at the end of the season, that means now you're saying that we should be where we are at the end of the season. If we finish like this at the end of the season, you'll be okay with it because we don't have the players.
What I said. That's not what I said at all.
Because hypothetically, we wouldn't have those players. If we don't have those,
I said where we are now.
Nah, man. Tony T, put Bogey in prison and go for going against Win. There you go, man.
Thank you, Tony T.
Just cause. Unbelievable. But I mean, I just can't. I cannot fathom any fan in this day and age saying that Newcastle United should be where it's at, which is what, 15th, 16th, something like that. I mean, that is to me.
That's not where we should be at the end of the season. Absolutely not.
But the fact that you're saying we should be there right now is blasphemy.
I'm saying that there's very good reasons why we are there now. That's what I'm saying.
You do realise that you're also saying we should be below Sunderland, that we should be a lesser team than them at the minute by saying that.
Well, what I'm saying is
Sunderland, where you deserve
Sunderland,
us to be.
Net spend. Sunderland outspent us in the summer.
But we outspent Sunderland. Let's not start on that rubbish again.
No, Sunderland net spend outspent us.
We outspent Sunderland with the players we've got now. So yes, we sold the player for a lot of money, but we outspent Sunderland.
And we haven't spent that money yet.
The squad.
We haven't spent that money yet, so we haven't spent 250 million.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the squad we've got now.
We have spent
players we bought in cost more than the players Sunderland bought in.
Yeah, I mean, but Sunderland bought 30 players, man. For that, it's like buying fish.
And they've all been playing.
And I mean,
the players that we've bought haven't all been playing for every game.
The quality of play
haven't all been in since the start of the season and had pre-training and everything, and that shows. That obviously shows. But also, Sunderland have had a much easier start to the season than we've had.
Oh, Jesus. Nah, man.
Judge this season when every team's played every team.
We need to get another happy clapper in here, man, because this feels like bullying. But there has to be a happy clapper with some more sense than this, But. By the way, 40 that joined us last week or a week ago, I think he'll be joining us most nights on the late night show. So he seems balanced. So we're gonna bring him. You're like myself, and then Boki tends to lean to the other end as well. But we'll no problem at all. And somebody bailed this man out too. By the way, he spent the whole show in jail yesterday. Come on, man. But let's go with the article here. So this internally, remember the culture change, and some people thinking that it is the didn't worry people. They got super chat there from Helsazar. Search Boki's cell for contraband. He's on one. There you go. I appreciate that, Helsazar. That is internally. Externally, he has met with supporters, formally and informally. He was present at the latest fan advisory board meeting and has reached out separately to members of the supporters trust. He has met with Alan Shearer too. The review and decisions that arise from it are better informed by coloring his blank canvas with as many shades as possible. Interesting, because that's good that the CEO trusts to meet fans. I think Darren Neals did really good at that. I can testify myself. I've met him many times. Well, a few times, and he's always been nice. I can say that the Newcastle United CEO bought me a pint once, which is not that many people can say that. But he was in America, came to America, and he came up to me. He said, "Hey, do you want a beer?" And I didn't know who it was. To be honest, I didn't know who it was. And then, but yeah, then later find out he was the CEO. So he's a lovely man.
I'll just have a glass of water, please.
Oh, give me that pint, man. And I wanted to buy him a beer, but he wouldn't let me. You know what I mean? So there you go. I guess I must get paid more than him, or he gets paid more than me actually. He wasn't bothered by me buying him a pint. Because
you wouldn't get your round in when you were over here.
Listen, it's all investing, man. Investing. That's what it's called. You buy people a pint. That's it's an investment. You, man, I'll let you buy all my pints. Come on. But he has listened to the fans, and in return, he has spoken to many. But Hopkinson knows he will be judged by what he does. To that end, his commercial pedigree, former head of global partnerships at Real Madrid, and his chief quantifiable asset. I don't know, partnership. Would that be like what Silverstone does for us? I'm assuming. Something like that.
What was the word you're struggling with? I haven't seen the article. You didn't say.
Well, I know former head of global partnerships at Real Madrid. I don't know what that would be, but
when he was at Real Madrid, he was responsible for getting in the big brands to sponsors.
So look at the job title at Madrid, and it is not hard to deduce the global companies, most likely American, will soon be embarking on partnerships with Newcastle. I don't know. Is Visa American? It must be.
I think they are, yeah.
I think they are. But Visa came in just after.
Rowan Atkinson was Johnny English that came out in there. Then everybody thought Visa was part of Barclays, but I think it came out in that Johnny English film that...
well, it's kind of like saying... it's kind of like Visa is. I mean, it's like McDonald's. It's American by birth, but there's more McDonald's in the world than there are hospitals. So but it came in. Visa came in after his appointment, a little after. So is that because of him? You would assume so. You would assume so. Silverstone wasn't bothered to do anything, so we'll see. There we go. Right here brings it up. A tie-in with Visa was announced earlier this month, for example. What's next? Apple, Amazon?
But nobody knows what that tie-in is. Nobody can find any figures anywhere that Visa are paying us. And I've done a deep dive all over the place, including Visa's accounts.
Is that not a good thing, winning that it shows we're becoming a bit more professional and things aren't just leaking out everywhere?
Yeah, Win wants to know everything for no reason. It's like he's going to spend it.
I want to know if we're loading it. What are we getting out of it? If it's not money that we're getting out of the deal, what are we getting out of it? Because we know what Visa are getting out of it. They are getting the right to associate themselves with the Newcastle United brand. That's what they are getting out of it. What are we getting out of it? Because I haven't seen anything that this nebulous sort of brand.
Worldwide, win. Visa's a lot bigger brand than Newcastle.
But that's what
it is.
We're also getting the brand of being associated with Visa.
I think the benefit. I mean, quite honestly, if I'm just looking at it from here, the benefit is us. It's not for them. I mean, what do they get? I don't know what they get. They say advertising. Okay, I guess it's just like there's a thing about
The members getting special Visa accounts or something.
well, here's the thing. It's advertising is as we know.
So that's growing their customer base. What's it doing for us? What do we get out of that? If you sign up for Visa as a Newcastle member, so you put in your membership code, whatever you've got to do to prove your membership to get the benefit, and you get so they are getting a new customer. That's what they are getting. What are we getting out of that?
But if you go on a Visa's website and it's saying sponsors of Newcastle, we're getting that from them. And there's a lot more people around the world who'll go on to Visa.
I just don't know. I just don't know what the important. I mean, look, man, advertising is weird. How that? I mean, I was looking. We've been looking at radio stations. How much they make money? They make money 90% on advertising, and I mean, all these brands that keep these radio stations alive. Do they really get what their money's worth in advertising? I have no clue. I doubt it really, but because again, if I'm listening to something or if I'm going to a Newcastle game, I see Visa everywhere. Visa everywhere. It's not making me go try to get a Visa card. I bank whoever I bank with. I mean that's it. But it is what it is.
Is it making you go and try and follow Newcastle United? That's what I want to know.
I don't think so.
He says, Yano Wise, and I'm sure these words from the CEO are not worrying Eddie at all, but I bet Shola's pooping his pants.
There you go. But that's true, though. I was going to save that comment, but later, but good job, Win. Screw it up. Leave that, man. Visa was announced earlier this month, for example. So what's next, Win? Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Netflix. Man, we are Americanizing Newcastle United.
This is a key for me. If he starts bringing in massive sponsorship other than the Saudi connections, if he starts doing that, my God, he's doing his job.
Well, Visa is one of them. Visa's got this.
What we're getting off Visa, I don't know.
Well, what do you care, man? As long as they pay, what do you care?
I want to know how much they're paying. If they're paying £1 million a year, big deal.
Well, why?
Release Onslow from the penitentiary.
It's a million you didn't have, so it's kind of a weird one. And you truly believe that the Visa, not even you believe that a fan of I don't know, somebody in Malta that has a Visa account will say we see Newcastle United and all of a sudden say, oh wow, let me be a Newcastle United fan. Okay, not even you believe that, so
that's exactly the point I'm making.
But it doesn't matter. They're paying for advertising. So why are you arguing? They're paying for advertising.
I don't see the value to either partner of the deal, except from a Visa point of view. They know Newcastle have got whatever, go stupid, say 5 million fans worldwide. So potentially, that's
you are kidding.
Put both back in jail. So
just calling ourselves parallel lanes now.
Thank you very much, Sheila. Appreciate you, and of course, what was that? The official Mighty Wins, Mighty Pasties. There you go. So going on with this article here says, for now though, the dad of two wants to make a family of the club he has inherited. Disagreement is fine, and division is not. Once he actions the thoughts of his 100-day review, some decisions may sting. We need to do a 100-day review of this channel, by the way. Some would be, let me tell you something. Some will be knocking. They will be knocking. Sacked in the morning, baby. Anyway, once he actions the thoughts of his 100-day review, some decisions may sting. Hopkinson wants the collective pulling in the same direction. He, Wilson, and Howe have already determined that they will come as a team. And that has not always been the case with some predecessors. Hopkinson realized within days from interactions with staff, journalists, waiters, and window cleaners. There you go. That the club was crying out for presence, trust, and engagement at senior level. So interesting win. He's spoken with everybody, man. Players, journalists, staff, Eddie Howe, Wilson, window cleaners, and the cheeseburger makers. And he wants to know. That's what a proper boss does, to be honest. And no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Delighted to hear it. That's not Mighty Mark saying there.
Mighty Mike Magpie.
Visa Phase 1 is in Saudi Arabia, delivered with a local partner bank.
They have a Saudi Arabia link, but it's not really that.
For Visa card holder include VIP trips to Get off there. VIP trips to St James's Park, meet and greets with players and legends, and behind the scenes tournament. Yeah, well, I've seen that, Griff, but your specific Visa Guinness, da-dee-da, get 20 or 30 of these types of sponsors, and it all helps. We grow as a club. These revenues will increase and be easy to negotiate because we already have a relationship established.
Well, I mean, I just don't listen. If there's money coming in, we got the Guinness sponsorship as well. And who's asking how much money? You didn't ask about that. What do you care? I'm pretty sure Newcastle not just going there for free. So
no, the Guinness sponsorship is 5 million.
Says who? Where'd you get that from?
But when it was announced.
It was not announced saying that it's 5 million, man. Newcastle United do not release any figures except for when they do the taxes at the every cycle. You know, they do not release in any statement, even the transfers of players are for an undisclosed figure that the club. You know, come on, man, get out of here. Win is knackered, man.
We are knackered.
We've lost the next 5 minutes while he Googles it.
Oh,
The specific value for the Guinness Zero sponsorship is not public, but the overall Guinness partnership is reported to be worth £4 million for 3 years.
Who said that?
Win.
That's a blog.
Newcastle Insider. Newcastle Insider. Who said that? What are the other websites called? I forgot. But Newcastle didn't release.
Newcastle United. This is the official website.
They did not.
Sponsorship.
By the way, it looks like Paul Morris doubling down on Bogey with no bail, 2 charges. There you go, man. They're just doubling down. But anyway, while Wynn looks for his alibi, we shall continue. Hopkinson realized, Saudi Arabia's public investment fund preferred to install an executive team to satisfy those demands rather than front it themselves. But they have been burnt before. Ooh, who is that to? Is that Stabley? Is that the Stabley and the husband? Leaving them exposed to criticism and inspection, says this. The challenge for Hopkinson and Wilson is to lead and to reunite. A lot of folk inside and outside the club have asked me, Craig Hope, for my early impressions of Hopkinson, given little was known of him before. I return to the same verdict. He seems like a doer. Is that how you? What does that mean? A doer, like
someone who actually progresses stuff and
like somebody that does to get to that. Okay. At a club where there remains a lot to do. That is not a bad thing for somebody that's a doer, of course. So Win, give up on it, man. We need you to talk. We don't need you to we'll get a producer for that. I've
got the 5 million figure umpteen times.
Yeah, you got it, but you didn't get it from Newcastle United. You got it.
I'm looking for
get on with it,
official validated sources, and I'm struggling.
Newcastle United have never released any figures whatsoever, unless it's the fiscal thing that they do every year for tax purposes. So other than that, I
suppose it's because the only word ever used by Newcastle United officially is lucrative. So I suppose it's defined lucrative.
I think we might need a £5 million donation to the channel to get me out of jail at some point.
Visa, you can sponsor us anytime, baby. Anytime. We'll be swiping that card over here left and right. But there you go. So interesting though from this article, the PIF prefer to install an executive team to satisfy those demands, right? Rather than fronted themselves win, pay attention, but they have been burnt before. They have been burnt before, leaving them exposed to criticism and inspection. The challenge for Hopkinson and Wilson is to lead and to reunite. Is that a dig at Amanda and Godusi, who, when they left, or maybe I doubt Mitchell left without their permission, because he would have been sued until to oblivion.
No,
and also,
Mitchell was sacked. End of.
he was not sacked. He was let go and given a new job in Saudi Arabia. So that's what it was. But Amanda and do you think that's what directed at them?
We've got it. Tony, we've seen your super chat, but we're coming on to that, so we'll put it up when we start on that subject, mate.
We got it. No worries. So going. Do you think
Did you
that
talk about Slot's small club dig? Well, we haven't yet.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a moment. Just be patient. We got it. And again, let's continue with the article. Is PIF going at Amanda Stavely that left them burnt before, exposed to criticism? Do you think he's talking about?
I think if she did,
I think what he's saying is,
I think if she did leave them exposed to criticism, it was because she was such a good communicator, and when she left,
but that by her leaving wouldn't burn you. I mean, she's leaving. It is what it is.
It did because she was such a massive figurehead of the takeover.
No, I think this is more.
There was nobody there to take that position.
I don't think that has anything.
Well, you've always wanted to dig Amanda. The fact that what he's saying there is exactly right, and I agree with Borky. What he's saying there is that when Amanda left, it left a void, and that void has resulted in undue criticism.
But it would be explained there when the previous the small share owners left that left the club, whatever, unaware of how to run things or whatever. But this is more, we were burned. It was animosity in that. To me, it has something to do with that. Maybe the DOF, Ashworth wanted to leave for Man United. Maybe some of that. But this is more like they did it to us. They burned us. They right there. They left them exposed to criticism. I mean, come on, man. What are you talking about? Release Boki says, Tony, very good, man. Appreciate that very much indeed.
I hope you've learned your lesson.
So I think it has to do with that. But, it is what it is anyway. But we are
not a bedwetter, you're just a very naughty boy.
And it ended with that, that a lot of folk inside and out are asking Craig Hope what he thinks about him. And, of course, he seems like a doer. So that is the confidential article today that you didn't have to pay, because here we expose it for free to all of you right here. So that is that. Well, what do you make? Last thoughts and conclusions on this particular article. We still got 30 minutes left on the show. So we're going to do Tony's Super Chat and talk about that. We got season tickets. So Mighty Win.
Like I say, I mean, I'm over the moon with what I've heard, what he's allegedly said, and I agree with most of what Craig's take on it is. I think it's onwards and upwards, and anybody who doesn't want to be on that journey, clear your desk and get out. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, as you said before.
There was a phrase though that it was a Bokia. But was that, what phrase were you talking about?
Success is measured in wins, not words.
That's it. Yeah,
that was the big phrase from me from it, because I think Eddie's very good at talking, but but this season the wins aren't there.
Oh yeah, we thought the same exact thing, man. But also he put himself in that, by the way.
No problem with that, because I agree with everything.
I think it's just a warning shot, Eddie, isn't it? Basically,
yes, man. I think it is a warning shot, no doubt about it. That listen, well, you gotta get. we understand the Wissa situation. Every team has injuries, man. So mute your mic when you're messing with the mic, man. You can hear all that. I think that is very much a warning shot. And I think they didn't sack the women's coach because of that, but I think that just also it's clear and evident that they're not scared, because I almost feel like PIF doesn't want to make a move because of how they're going to be perceived in the media in the UK. Now PIF is more or less, they just own the club, and they're gonna fund it. They're gonna do this, but at the end of the day, it's the CEO that's in charge, alongside and Wilson has to perform, and Eddie Howe has to perform, or else. It's plain and simple.
Chris will be run like PIF, so that businesses, now that we've got people in charge of the club, in that PIF won't be directly involved in day-to-day running. They'll take a step back now, and it'll be up to the board that's in place to actually run the club, as they do with the clubs that they've got across in Saudi, and as they do with their other businesses. PIF aren't there to run the business; they are there to fund what's needed, and they'll have decisions over they'll have choice over the big decisions, but the day-to-day running and the likes of transfers and things now will pass down to the club, and PIF won't be particularly involved in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I've got no complaints with that at all, as long as the people that they're putting in place are fit for purpose.
That's right.
And I don't think Eddie's got any problem with that. I don't think any of the happy clappers have got any problem with that. And I think every single one of us wants to see results on the pitch, same as everybody else does.
I don't think we'll have to worry about Eddie, because I don't think he'll be there for much longer. So,
see that's the extreme. That's the extremist side of things, though, Bo. You're being just the same as I call Wayne extremist. You are an extremist on the other way, because why does it feel like you're hoping and praying that Eddie Howe gets sacked, man? Come on, man.
Chris, can I put a point? Because there are better managers out there. If we had the position open now of a manager, so if we didn't have a manager at the minute, and you are looking at managers out there, so like Mancini, Mourinho, things like that,
yeah, but
you would not choose Eddie Howe as your manager.
Hang on. If we had the exact choice, and let's go back now to when we did have that choice.
Mm-hmm.
And if we could have been guaranteed when we signed Eddie that we would qualify for the Champions League in 2 years and win our first trophy in 70 years, you can be guaranteed that with Eddie, or you can take a chance on somebody else. Which would you have taken then?
But we're not in that position now.
Well, which would you have taken then? Because I know which one I would have taken.
Well, to be fair, whoever would
win.
Take the cup.
If Mancini was available, if Mourinho was available, and Eddie Howe, you would not have gone with Eddie Howe. Don't lie. Do not lie. You would not have gone with Eddie Howe.
And I don't think you would.
Did I say I would?
I don't think, in all honesty, you would go with Eddie Howe now. You would choose one of the bigger managers.
Well, no, I don't know about that now, Boki, because
I know what he can do now.
I just don't. You can name Mourinho, you can name Mancini and them guys, but
I wouldn't have either. If you offered me Klopp now, I would take Klopp, because Klopp knows how to take a good team, a good squad to the next level, which is what he did with Liverpool, without upsetting the apple cart, without just making them play better. I would take Klopp now over Eddie, but I can't think of many more that I would.
It is 10:30 at night in the UK, folks. Don't forget to smash the like button, hit the bell for notifications, and I tell you what, let's play the jingle once again.
Set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Vera Demadiwan, and the rest of the panel, Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK, 3:30 p.m. USA, and UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
10:30 at night in the UK, folks. What is people in the Toon doing right now? They're drinking. Right now, but it is 10:30 in it. So you think, like traffic, for example, right now, is that
non-existent?
Dead.
Non-existent. Yeah, it is. It is a Thursday, but it's Thursday. Some people in America don't work Fridays. Sometimes, not all, not really most, really, but some people don't. Um, it should probably not be an
Oh,
example.
Friday is a normal work day.
No,
Right.
Friday it's the same over here, but some people don't. Um,
Used
but
to have it.
There's a lot of trades people, shall we say,
Yeah.
who have a more or less a half day Friday, but that's only because they work extra hard on the Monday to the Thursday to get the jobs done, so that they can have.
We now can't say the word, but over here it's known as F off Friday.
There you go. Uh, yeah, there you go. All right, let's go with Tony T super chat right here. Did you talk about Slot's small club dig? He did give us a dig. Let's take a listen to what the Liverpool manager had to say in his post-match reaction.
He's missed pre-season. Is it possible for a player to catch up if you've missed the whole pre-season? How long will it take? Could it take weeks, months to get him fully fit to where he needs to be?
I don't think there's a rule that every single player has the same, but it also depends on what did he do when he didn't train with the team. What is the impact if you go to a new club as a big signing, so you cannot compare maybe a player that hasn't trained or played in pre-season at a smaller club than if you go to Liverpool. So there are many factors that you have to take into account, and there's not one thing if it's possible or not. We did exactly what was needed. We were really careful of him. Swedish national team in the first time as well, and they played him twice last time, which he could do. So not criticizing at all the Swedish national team, because we actually told them that he's ready to play twice. So it's a thin balance if you missed out on pre-season, and some march through it, and some unfortunately get injured again.
All right, so that was club. It was a bit low, wasn't it? But we'll try to put it up with better audio in just a minute. But more or less, he said that when you come from a small club to Liverpool, blah 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 blah. So when you kind of like to speak in so other clubs like you. So I'm not that type of guy. So I think he's a nub. I shouldn't say that.
So you don't think Liverpool are a bigger club than Newcastle?
Yeah, but first of all, of course they are. Of course they are. But Newcastle United is a big club as well. But Newcastle United is a big club. No. He said, when you come from a small club,
smaller.
No, you come to. First of all, why is a manager speaking like that? He has no class whatsoever to be speaking of another club like that. He did it the same thing, by the way, not too long ago about the same situation, Isak situation. Can't remember now exactly what it was about. Actually, Isak wasn't sold yet. He was still in the team, and it was the preview of the Liverpool game. And he was speaking, I don't think Isak is going to play because he's having some issues. He wants to leave, and and obviously everybody knew he wanted to leave to Liverpool. So he has these things that are not appropriate of somebody that should be in another level with class. Clearly Eddie Howe would never.
Bear in mind, he has moved to a bigger club, so he's still got to get used to being at that bigger club and acting like a good manager of that bigger club, which he hasn't learned to do yet, obviously. So it's taken him time to settle in as well. And look at the results on the show.
Do you know what though?
Because he's spent near on $500 million and getting worse results than he was getting last season.
But I love that from a manager going in there with little earworms for other clubs, and it looks like Slot's sort of a big, come on, yes, we're Liverpool, we're a huge club, whereas you've got Eddie here who's like, yeah, come on, we're a big club. So I think if you flipped that and it was your manager, you would be, he's doing good for the club.
But no, Boke, I can't agree. I come from South American football where digs happen all the time. I don't mind digs, but it usually happens with rivals. It usually happens in the build-up of a big derby. Old school football. I wish it would come back, right? But this is out of the blue. This is not. This is a dig for no reason. And quite honestly, if you like digs, just like I do, it's supposed to piss the opposition off, and it's certainly done that with Newcastle United. So, so there you go. It's supposed to make the opposition mad, and it certainly has done that with Newcastle United fans.
But look at what Ferguson.
And again, you see, you're saying it has done that statement has made, and it's obviously made Tony mad. He's sent in a super
What are
chat
you
saying,
on about, man?
about this.
This dude, man. How many people you ran against today?
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother.
Says,
Most
I
United
don't care what he says.
But I'm
most
saying
Newcastle United fans are bothered.
Because I am big enough to just
Well, you're old enough.
not worry about what he says.
Well,
I'm
it
not
helps that
worried.
you didn't read the article as well, but in regards to it though as well, with this, it's got to what Ferguson used to do. So you know,
Ferguson
it's
used to do that.
always went on through football.
Yeah, but
Okay, I'm saying I'm not bothered about it. It doesn't bother me.
Ferguson did it.
I can't understand why people are getting upset about it.
Listen, Ferguson did it.
If he has any anger, his anger should be generated at the rat for not being sufficiently capable within himself to do the requisite training without somebody telling him what to do.
I'm going to defend Newcastle United here.
That would be more my stance.
Well, I'm going to defend Newcastle United if nobody will here. Listen, that happens. Ferguson, he did it with teams that, at least that's when I pay attention, with teams that, that he would go at head to head. Even that's why when you said that we were never a big club, that we were a tiny club in the 90s, for example.
No, I said we were a tiny club. I
We
said we weren't
were
a big club.
Excuse me. We always been a big club. We are a big club now. We were in the 90s because we were the only club.
We are a
Not the
big
only
club.
club. We were the big club fighting with Man United, Arsenal at the time, and also Liverpool when Chelsea didn't exist and Man City didn't exist as well. So we were in there in the fight. They didn't want to play us, and that's when Ferguson had that banter with not Bobby Robson, but against us. Kevin Keegan as well. Remember the famous rant because of what Ferguson would say, and then he obviously reacted to it.
Ferguson was brilliant at the main games.
But I'll tell you something. He went down in my estimation when he said that. We have not resorted to that. But I'll tell you, you can tell him now, be watching it, we're still fighting for this title. And he's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something. And I'll tell you, honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
There you go. So, and you gonna tell me that, but that stuff right there is gone as well. Those types of statements never happen. Which again, I want that back. I want those digs. I want that banter. I want that rivalry. I remember that there's a big story from Gary Neville when he was in the derby with Liverpool, and he was like in a throw-in, and a Liverpool fan tells him blah 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 blah, and he goes blah 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 to the fan, and nothing happened. Nobody was kicked out. Nothing. A bunch of insults, calling somebody overweight in a not so polite manner. Gary Neville to the fan, and but I love all that stuff. I love it. But this feels like more out of nowhere. Like what? We're not about to play.
Hang on.
The problem is now we're
Back then,
press training.
Back then, as you rightly say, we were one of the biggest clubs then, because then we were outspending in the transfer market. We are still the only British team to break the world transfer record. We were buying multi-million pound players when they were a very rare article indeed, and we bought loads of them. So we were a big club then. That was then, this is now. And in the interim Premier League era,
does that make
left behind due to one man.
The problem
It's
is
taken us a long time to recover from that.
What does that have to do with
being a big club?
Why does that have to do with somebody throwing digs at you for no reason? Why?
But the problem is, it's the press training now, so you're never going to get managers coming out and being as passionate as Keegan was and that, because they've all been mindset into you can't do that sort of thing. You come out and you just do, a blasé press conference, as you see across now everywhere.
I remember
passion from managers like you used to.
the last one that I can remember, but not the last one. Well, maybe the last manager of that cloth would have been the Crystal Palace all-time manager. What's his name? I forgot his name now. Old guy.
Roy Hodgson.
Roy Hodgson.
Roy Hodgson.
Roy. And I remember one time watching, not too long ago, there was you guys must remember this, a post match interview, and the reporter asks him, what he thought about the game. They played good, but they didn't get a decision, or they got a double yellow or something like that according to him wasn't justified.
Yeah.
And he told that report, he told the reporter off because the reporter apparently he caught the reporter. You're not watching the game. What do you mean? What double yellow card, blah blah blah. And the reporter was shook. I mean, he
used the F word, didn't he? He went to him. Are you going to ask us effing proper questions? Or are you just going to carry on like this? Because if you're just going to effing ask us this,
that was the big takeaway from that, because that was very unusual for Roy.
Yeah. No, but I mean, he's cut from the same. I mean, I'm saying he's old school. You know what I mean? He got the best of it. I remember Bobby Robson. I remember that when he went off about who was it? Somebody was sent off, and Bobby Robson is a gentleman, and he went off. What was it? Somebody didn't get sent off or something like that. It was against Arsenal, I believe. And I'm trying to remember that. I need to look it up.
I remember it, Chris, but he didn't lose his blobbles in swearing, but he was he was very angry.
Let me see.
But as I say, managers now are scared to do that. They've all been so. And Eddie Howe's probably one of the best press-trained managers in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but this is Bobby Robson. I just found it. Let's see if
you had another look at the sending off. What do you make of it?
I just feel it was extremely harsh. I don't think there was a player that Bergkamp could give the ball to. I think he deliberately
works his way up.
I think it's unsporting behaviour. I understand it, and other people do it. And there was an incident in Scotland last week where that happened, and the referee actually booked the player who was unsporting. I just felt the referee could have handled it a little bit differently. They tell me the greatest law in the game is common sense, and I think the referee just lacked a little bit of that on that particular incident. Not overall, but on that incident. And he took away our match winner. He just scored a goal. He was on a high. We were in a great position to go and win that game, and we might have won it with 11 players. We didn't lose it with 10, so we might have had a chance of winning it with 11, that's for sure. And it might have just cost us 2 points. It was a big game. It was a championship game. It was an easy game to control. There was some little skirmishes, but they were good for the game and good for the public, and we lost a big player.
We've just spoken to the referee, Neil Barry, and he said Robbie had a couple of opportunities to walk away or turn his back, and twice he put his foot in front of the ball.
I don't think so. You're talking about a second. I mean, I don't know. You have a look at the video. Show the video to the public. Show the video to the referee, and tell the referee that he thinks that Laurent has had time to walk away. I don't think so. And I tell you, there's a time when if you try to take a quick free kick.
You see there, Bob. Sorry to interrupt you, but he's lifted his foot a second time. I think that's what Neil Barry has said. He stopped him, and Thierry
I'm saying common sense doesn't prevail. I'm saying common sense. Look at that situation. The guy gets sent off for that.
I think everybody, I don't think there's any argument. Nobody wanted to see the player sent off, but what the referee is saying, I had no option whatsoever.
But he did have an option.
He says the laws of the game now state that he has to send him off for that, for preventing the free kick game. It is very, very frustrating.
I'm not arguing with you, all right? You have your opinion, I have mine, and I'm saying I've got a rough decision today, and I've got an extremely harsh decision by the referee against us. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm not prepared to argue with you. I'm telling you what I think.
Still unbeaten in 7, though, and do you feel today...
So Bobby Robson losing it right there with if that's losing it for Bobby Robson, though. To be fair,
but isn't it lovely to have a manager of Newcastle talking about with passion? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying as a criticism of Howe, because I don't think any manager that comes in now is going to speak like that, and nobody's going to speak like Keegan when he lost it in the rant. But isn't it lovely to walk back to the time when managers came out and just had passion for the club?
If I had a manager like that, which Mourinho's still like that, but he's cut from that cloth, If I had a manager like that, I tell you, I would run through a brick wall for him. I mean, I would. But there are styles. This is Roy, and we'll carry on and we'll go on about it because we carrying on too long about this. But I found it. I remember.
Office for you?
Yes, very. I thought we played very well. We were rocked back by another decision which I find hard to accept, but luckily... Which one do you think?
I'm asking you.
No, well, I'll leave it then. If you're going to be tricky like that, I won't even bother to carry on. Shall we? Let's stop it here, shall we? I mean, if you're going to be tricky with your questions.
No, I'm genuinely
asking. Well, let's start again. Which one? Well, how many were there? They only had 2 shots at goal. One was a penalty, and one was a striker goal our goalkeeper saved. So what decision are we talking about?
Okay.
So let's not take the piss here.
Oh. I certainly wasn't.
Well, I think you are, but there you are.
I wasn't.
Well, we're starting again, shall we? Or else you can use that if you want.
No, I don't think I want that.
Start again.
It was a genuine question.
Well, I won't mention it then. There wasn't a fucking penalty in there. There wasn't one of those.
I did warn you.
Roy, a satisfying day at the office?
Yeah, I thought you played well.
Oh, no, wait. And then he asked him the question again. Roy, a satisfying day in the office? Oh, my goodness. I remember the thing. I didn't know he was going to go off like that, though. But anyway, there's Roy. And I mean, I'm telling you. But again, I don't have an issue with this because they're mad about a situation that happened within the game. This Boldy just came out of the presser and took, a small club, Newcastle, what can you expect? No, he is not fit because he didn't want to play. He didn't want to train. That's why he is not fit. And it talks about the groin, which some say Newcastle United knew already. And, of course, the ugly girlfriend syndrome, which we say, we wanted him out anyway, which we didn't. We wanted to keep him.
But the other side is Klopp did
Let's
this.
not be harassed.
But I'm saying Klopp did this too as well. Klopp used to say that we were a very negative team. And
time wasting.
Yeah, time wasting. It's a Liverpool thing at the minute that, well, obviously, it's not a bogey team.
Yeah, well, this is the Sorcerer's Apprentice trying to jump on the Slot's coattails. I'm going to see if I can be a bit like Klopp. Clippity.
Yeah. I don't know if Klopp did that, though. Klopp was complaining about the referees and complaining about other teams spending.
Oh, complaining about us all the time.
Yeah.
Against us.
Wasting time, dog arts.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I get that, but that is not... Again, man, I think that somebody just coming at the club for no reason, I get mad. I get mad about that. I mean, I do, but neither here nor there. By the way, Anthony Gordon, part of the Champions League team of the week, is the left winger, of course, alongside, let me see, Vicario from Tottenham, Gabriel, Van Dijk, Dumfries, and Nuno Mendes on the left. We got Mecca, Carl, and Fermin Lopez in midfield. Guruzeta up front, Man from PSV. Look, PSV, man, in the team of the week. Can you believe that? And
Chris,
they lost to USG.
I've got a major issue with that. Why isn't Byrne at left back?
Oh, they got no, man. Come on, man.
You're out your mind, man.
Don't let them take the P on you, man. Come on, man. Don't let them take. All right, so interesting here because we gotta just maybe we should leave it for another because that season ticket thing.
I didn't watch the full 90 minutes of every Champions League game, so I can't possibly comment on that.
No.
You would certainly be in my Newcastle team of the week. There you go.
Need doubt. I was thinking the other day, though. I tell you what, we're gonna save the season ticket thing for. I tell you what, we got 11 minutes. Screw it. Shall we do it, or do we need a show?
Yeah. Go for it.
Let's go do it then quickly and in a hurry. Let me see. I gotta find the article again, man. But more or less, first of all, those tickets that were taken out because of what was it? Somebody was selling them. That's not
130. Yeah, there was 103 tickets confiscated.
Yeah, they're going to go to. They're just going to go to the ballot.
To the ballot.
Yeah, I mean, people are not. They're not. The club is not really bothered about the situation. But the Chronicle came out.
Certainly be able to sell them as full season tickets, even though they've missed whatever number 3 games or something.
But the Chronicle did come up with an article. I thought it was, how the Chronicle can be nowadays. They're not the good old days with Ronnie Gill. And now they're more... Ronnie Gill! Now they're Clucky Baydil now. But So they're saying, but I had to read it, and it does have some information on it. Newcastle United provide answers to on thorny season ticket waiting list question. So, at a recent supporter service, at a recent fan advisory meeting, remember the one kind of similar to the one the same one that Hopkinson was part of, they discussed ticketing, and here we go. So it was confirmed by club executives that a further consultation with supporters was required. Earlier this autumn, fans pleaded with United to offer transparency on the number of season ticket holders and the processes that are in place, if any, to get one. The club's head of supporter services, Sarah Metcalf, who I met, lovely lady, I had a picture with her actually in the U.S., addressed the issue and the get-together held within the four walls at St. James's Park. The FAB, Fan Advisory Board, meeting notes read. These notes, I guess the Chronicle got them. Nobody else got them. SM acknowledged, I don't know who SM is. What is it, SM? SM acknowledged. Sarah? Oh, Sarah McCaff, that's right. But I don't know why they put in initials. Or maybe that's how they write it anyway, because it is in quote. SM acknowledged FAB's work on the season ticket waiting list, an initial workshop facilitated by, so many ads in here, man.
Welcome to the
Chronicle. Quote, SM asked FAB to confirm whether a workshop would be helpful. This was confirmed for December 2025. Season ticket waiting lists at other clubs currently see Liverpool's pausing their applications for so many people in the queue. Meanwhile, Aston Villa charges £10 to join their waiting list. Spurs charge a member fee up to £55 to join the queue. The Newcastle FAB notes continued. PS and MM discussed the indirect cost of joining the waiting list as membership is required. PS highlighted that membership offers broader benefits beyond ticket access. Is that saying that you need to be? I mean, if there were a list, you need to be a member. I would assume so. I would assume so. Basically, other dangers on membership were also flagged. The notes read, Paul Carter noted that some away supporters appeared to be purchasing memberships primarily to access ticket ballots while simultaneously securing tickets through third-party sources. Everybody does that. They're trying to get a ticket. MM, who's MM, by the way? I still don't get it. But MM acknowledged that...
Michael McCarthy.
There you go. I guess that would be part of the Fan Advisory Board. Guys, acknowledge that loopholes will always exist. Claire Wintrip stressed the need for NUFC to be ready for questions about list placement. Chris Parkinson confirmed that fans will be available to view their position on the season ticket waiting list via their individual accounts. This is interesting because nothing is new. This is what I'm saying. Fans are also raised the growing issue of younger supporters. I raised that issue, by the way. Chris, the American Mag, always raised the issue about the young fans. Old fans like Gwen don't care about the young fans. I've said, how do young fans get involved? How do they get tickets if they're waiting for, certain folks to kick the bucket? I mean, that ain't fair. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even saying you, by the way. We want you to live long, Mighty Wins, my guy, man. We don't want nothing to happen to him. But I'm just saying, though, because there is a concern about the young lads. So young supporters are not being able to access St. James's Park. The notes read, Thomas Simmons queried
whether legal advice on inability to prioritize a young person's season ticket allocation could be shared by the club, and whether NUFC could provide data on a broader representation of younger fans who attend home games.
That's right.
Sarah took a look at this. Sarah is to take a look at this.
Do you not think instead of ripping fans off by making them become members to get season tickets, what you do is if you come to the club to buy a Newcastle United Newcastle United top, so the new black and white strip, the new strip that season, you can put your name forward at that point to go into the ballot for new season tickets. Yeah, but
that's wishful thinking, but they want that money.
It is, and don't get us wrong, the club are doing the right thing in regards to making money. But as I say, if you look at it from a fan's point of view, sort of you pay 90, 100 quid for a T-shirt. Allow yourself to allow the people who are doing that to be, and then it proves that you're Newcastle United fans as well because they're buying the top.
Well, hold on, before we do
that's
on
where
that,
I stand on this, and this might surprise you, right? I think the club the club have a product which exceeds the supply, demand exceeds supply. And when you've got a product, any product, where demand exceeds supply, the market reaction, basic economics, supply and demand, the price goes up.
Yeah, but
and
but
the
even
price goes up until sufficient people, and it sounds very harsh, sufficient people suddenly cannot afford to go to the match anymore. And that's very sad for them. But sadly, it's market forces, it's supply and demand. And if that means that the season tickets reach a price which I, as a pensioner, am unable to afford, then so be it. There's lots of things in life that I would want that I can't have because I can't afford them.
But when does that not mean we then become a Man City or a Man United?
Oh, well, we will.
The real fans don't get into the games as much.
Hang on. That's what you want us to be. That's what you keep on claiming that you're aspiring to be. You can't have it both ways.
No, but I'm saying if you go down that route, we've got to accept the fact that the real fans and youngsters aren't going to get in.
You've got to accept the fact that there will be more and more corporate seats that are shared around, spread around for marketing purposes.
Let me finish the article here. So last time a batch of season tickets were available was the summer of 22, when around 1,000 were placed on sale and understandably snapped right away. Since then, lending a season ticket has been difficult, and while the club canceled 103 season tickets after reports of unauthorized sales, those seats won't automatically go on resale. United have told to hold back 5% of match day tickets to comply with the rule book, with members going to ballot to grab a seat around 3 years ago. The information passed on to the Chronicle was that the sale was 1,000 seats, would take Newcastle season ticket holder tally to around 30,000, the late 30,000 ticket mark. So listen, it's a big discussion. We got to get the young lads in, and if they can't go to the game, then they're not going to be Newcastle. Listen, this notion that we have in Newcastle, more than likely you will have Newcastle United fans, but this notion that 100% of people follow Newcastle United, it's not true. It's not true. I've seen it with my own eyes that God gave me. There are some people that could care less. There are some people that follow other clubs, man. So it's also, again, you can say, well, it's Newcastle, man. Those are a small minority, not going to be irrelevant. I'm just saying, you do need to think about the future as well. But I don't know what the solution is, because you talk about high prices, and you can put it at a $30,000 season ticket. Nobody can buy them because there's not available. So
this part of that
that's why they'll not go to 30,000. There's every likelihood that could go to the levels currently being charged by other Premier League clubs who are higher than us in the league.
It's becoming
the money. Where are they getting the money from?
It's going to the game for the first time with your parents.
Yeah.
That's what makes you fall in love with the club.
You can't do it anymore.
You can't do that anymore.
Wonderful sentiment.
No. See, there we go, man. This plastic man. He's a plastic man. Thank you, Michael McIntyre. Thank you, Andrew Barnwick. Thank you, Gavin Fuller. Thank you, Tony T. Thank you, Hel Zuzar. Thank you very much, the mighty Pasty. You know what, Sheila. Thank you very much as well as Paul, Tony T. twice, Sheila again. Thank you all the super chatters out there. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. We'll be back again. Tomorrow is Friday, presser tomorrow, and the whole lot. So join us. We got the Friday Neat Show with Mighty Win, enjoying some banter music on YouTube. So join us there. And we got the match on Saturday. Don't forget about that. Newcastle United versus
Forget
Fulham.
about that. That's the one that
Must-win
come
game.
here, the lads.
Thank you very much, all of you. And we'll try to do a better job of getting to some of your comments as well, because, but we got to stick with the time frame. Time frame is key. Anyways, 11 p.m. in the UK, folks. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.